There we go. Yeehaw. Gonna set up my screen now for a stream. Oh, goodness. Hello, hello, peoples, hello. Hello, hello. Welcome. I gotta get a link. Hang on. So I can share to the peoples. Bloop. Alright. Yep. Alrighty. Hello, peoples. Hello. I'm gonna wait to talk about whatever. So just give it a minute while I'm waiting for people to show up and whatever. Oh, goodness. How's everyone today? That's a good question. How is everyone today? It's a good question to ask. I'm doing pretty good. Alright. Alright. Just click clack, clickety clack. Wah. I know it's so awkward when I'm just sitting here in silence, but it's fine, I swear. Alright, okay, so we'll just get started with the stream now, I guess, since we are here. So if anyone wants to ask questions or say anything, just make sure, I'm gonna use the strategy because this has worked pretty well in the past. Just at TheZodiacLord and say question and then ask your question and whatever. And we'll see how many tangents and I can go on before the stream ends. And TwistedDisaster might join later, possibly, but we'll see about that. So, yeah. Why do we exist? I don't know. That's open to your interpretation. Didn't write a story about that. Question, can you roast me, please? I mean, no, that's not exactly what this stream is for, so no, not really. I have a newfound love for Jackson, so what does he like to do? Well, he likes to do a lot of things. He likes just talking to people. That's probably the number one thing. He just likes talking. To specifically everyone else. He likes to play hero because he likes to be his vigilante anime character self, his discount vigilante. Run around, be a hero, fight what he thinks is crime and all that sort of good stuff. And he's also got like a weird love for science, and if you let him talk about science, he'll suddenly sound a lot smarter than he'll ever will in any other conversation, and it just like it just throws everyone for a loop. So yeah. By the way, guys, this is a stream about like my stories and characters, so those are the questions I'm going to be answering. So just so we're clear, because I know there's a lot of questions and stuff, so I sorry if you have something else that's not story related, but yeah. So question, there's an 8th sin called despair. Is there a chance you could use it in 7 Sins and a Baby? Probably not, no. To be honest, whenever you talk about an 8th sin, there are different interpretations on what the 8th sin is. Like you say despair, but there's also like there's depression is counted as the 8th sin in some interpretations. There's genuinely like different interpretations depending where you look on what the 8th sin is. So no, probably not. Especially because currently I don't have any way to fluidly incorporate that into 7 Sins and a Baby currently. So yeah. What do you think of the ship between Onyx and Quartz? I don't personally care. Again, I haven't used those characters in a long time, so I don't care if people ship it. If you want to ship it, that's good for you. Go for it, I guess. What would Pride do if he had 1 hour to himself? Not go insane at the stupidity of everyone around him. And probably read, honestly. Question, which Luniverse character is the most fun for you to draw, as in pose, design, and coloring, etc.? Oh, that's a good one. Who have I drawn the most? I mean, I like drawing Felicity a lot, just because I like her design a lot. I like drawing Vanessa. Infinity has been fun in the past just because she's really fun to pose, because I can zero gravity her and I don't have to worry about gravity so much. So I can make it all dynamic and whatever. But yeah, I don't know if I have a favorite in terms of Luniverse characters. Oh dear, I miss it's so many questions. Again, sorry, I'm answering story questions, so if I skip your question, I apologize, but yeah. Question, how do you come up with your character designs? I'm a developing traditional artist, and I'd really like to know. It depends on what character I'm making. There's a lot of different ways I design characters, depending on where they come from. Sometimes I design something and I'm like, oh, this is pretty, so I make a story based on that. And sometimes a story calls for a certain character, so I make a character to fit into that slot, and so I'll have some prerequisites I'm already going off of. Sometimes I'll just have a basic idea and I'll design off of there, and then sometimes sometimes it'll be like at least recently, because a lot of my character designs have been like next gen crack kids for like stuff like that, and in those cases it's a lot of just like basing it off of how would genetics work, essentially. So there's a lot that goes into making a character design, and there's not really, I don't have one strategy. So what's my favorite OC of mine? See, over all of my stories, I don't think I have a favorite. If like there was one specifically I could name it, like if we're talking specifically about Luniverse or 7 Sins and a Baby, my favorite character in Luniverse for me is Vanessa, but that's for a lot of reasons I can't disclose on recording. So yeah, but yeah, and then in 7 Sins and a Baby, it's either, oh god, I have so many characters in 7 Sins and a Baby I like. It depends on what group, because there's a lot of groups in 7 Sins and a Baby. But I like, I love all of my Mage Masters just because they're so much fun. I guess, yeah, I just love all of them. I love Lust because his character as a whole, again, Can't disclose why, but his character as a whole is just so much fun for me to write, and I love him. And he's also just really fun to draw. And then I also like my son Kai, who won't be introduced for a while, but I love him. And I also love this other character of mine named Deli, just because she's such a goofy character, and I love her. Oh goodness. I'm sorry, there's so many questions. Where are Luna's parents right now? Also, you mentioned in Luna's portrait that she had a YouTube channel. What's it called? I forget what I called it in canon, and it's I also forget what my knockoff name for YouTube was in Lunaverse. I need to go back and reestablish that. But I forget what I named her YouTube channel, whatever. That stuff I'm like would more be set in stone later on. But her parents they're just living their lives in their home. So like as far as they're concerned, they live in Seattle, and so as far as they're concerned, they're living their own life. So yeah. Any tips for people making a cohesive story from an abstract concept? I don't entirely know what you mean, Rachel Webb. I'm sorry, I don't know what you really mean by that question. Question, who's your favorite character made? I think I already kind of responded with that. It would depend on what story and stuff. But yeah. Question, why oh why did you not make Sloth physically share qualities with the sloth? Because that wasn't the point of his character? Question mark? I don't know. I'm aware that's probably a joke question, but Who is the best parent of the 7 sins? Oh god. I can tell you the worst parent is Sloth. That's hands down. Honestly, as the story progresses, probably Wrath or Envy are probably the best parents to Angel. Just in terms of like pure parenting skill. So okay, last one about Jackson probably. Does his mom feel like really abandoned since her husbando and son have left, even if they didn't want to? She does, and that's the thing that like kind of comes back. That's just his thing, because Jackson always feels bad about it, because he left without really... He left a note, but he didn't really say goodbye, and it's just, it's, so yeah, she does feel abandoned, and that's the thing with that, and they can't ever show that because it wouldn't come up cohesively in a story. But yes, she does, and it's sad. I love all your stuff, but I can't find anything about it anywhere. Where can I find your stories? I've seen your comics, but I'd like to know more. Any information about my characters that is public is going to be on my DeviantArt. So just look there. If I encourage you to look in the descriptions of pictures, because that's where 90% of information is. Just, yeah. That's where all my development thing is. This isn't really a story question, but do you do art trades with small/young artists? I do, but not all the time, because I don't always have time for art trades, so I can be a little bit picky. And I can also... and just sometimes I genuinely can't do art trades because I just have too much stuff I need to focus on. What would happen if all the Lunaverse characters did an escape room? They would lose. Or something would get destroyed. That's a guarantee. When will you start talking about your stories which you don't talk about, if ever at all? Well, I can. I don't ever know where to start. I have a lot of stories I could talk about. I don't know where to start, and I don't always have stuff to show. So, I mean, I could. If you guys want me to, I'll talk about some stories of mine that I don't talk about a lot. I have quite a few. Question, 7 Sins and a Baby, what is Pride's favorite thing to drink? I don't know what his favorite thing to drink is. Off the top of my head, at least, I don't know. When will you introduce Luna's sister, and what does she look like? There's an old picture of her on my DeviantArt. She'd be a little different now because I've more properly established what Luna's ethnicity is. But she exists, and her name is Abigail, and I'm going to draw her eventually, so someday. Other than Chrome and Virus, are there any other androids that are plot relevant? A simple yes or no would suffice, but feel free to elaborate if it's not too spoilery. Yes, I do want to make more androids just to develop, just to be world, like as world building, because there's so many different kinds of androids in on Teruvia. So I have wanted to design more androids just for the fun of it, but there is one specific android that I have not named or come up with a concrete design for. But they are the let's see, they are like the personal assistant of Elektra, and they're a pretty plot relevant android, but I can't tell why. So yeah, but there is another android that is plot relevant. What gives you the courage to put your stories in public? Also, I'm new to your channel, so is it like online or in the works? Depends what story it is. Not a lot of my stories are kind of private, but that's only because I have nothing of them to post. And I also, there's some where I don't want to post too much about online, question mark. Really, Seven Sins and a Baby and Looniverse currently are the two that have the most information online. And what just gives me the courage is I just like talking about it. I just like talking about my stories, and I have so much fun with it. So, I got a question about my boyo. I got a question, my boyo. I misread that. Who's your favorite character to write? Sorry if this has been a commonly asked. Ooh, I mean, who's my favorite character to write is not commonly asked. So, let me think. Because I have multiple. I love writing Lust because he's a sassy son of a bitch, and his character again is like super fun for me. I like writing Vanessa, but that's weird to say because I like writing her especially in future scenes that I can't disclose, and I hate that I have to say that, but it is true. I do like, who else do I like? I love writing my mage masters, especially when they're all together in a room because they're all assholes to each other. I just like, honestly, I just love writing the Sins as a group. I love writing the Sins together as a group because they're just fun to, like, their interactions are fun. So yeah. And who else? Who else do I like writing? I love writing my boy Kai because I love him too much. Oh, I have this character named Yasmin that's not posted online. I love writing her because she's an absolute troll. I think we're revealing a lot about my personality. What would all your characters do if they were locked together in a room? All of my characters, I think that room wouldn't be able to withstand the amount of characters I have. So, question, what happens if I have too many characters in a story? I mean, that depends on your story. Because you don't, by itself, you can't have too many characters in a story. It depends what story, it depends how you write that story and if you need those characters. So I can't really answer that question, unless you give me more contrast. Anyway, sorry. If one character from each of your stories is secretly a meme lord, who would they be? Well, I think all of my stories have at least one meme lord. Like Seven Sins and a Baby, that meme lord is 110% Yasmin, whom again hasn't shown up yet, but she will, and you will see exactly what I mean. In Looniverse, let's see. I mean, Ezekiel's a pretty big meme. He's a pretty big troll sometimes. Vanessa can be a bit of a troll a lot. I don't know who would be like an actual direct meme lord in Looniverse, but yeah. So, Cough Cop, what per se do you look to for inspiration for your stories and characters? It's probably commonly asked, but I'd like to know. I look for a lot of places. A lot of my inspiration, honestly, is from just like asking what if questions, honestly, or it's just from like, sometimes a lot of my stories just come from an absolute need of like, I really want to write something like blank. Like I have a story called 36, which is going to be a written story that spawned from me being like, I really want to be cliche and have a really dark story about people in a lab, like a lab test environment kind of thing. And I've spawned something totally different out of that. But yeah. So, you know, question, if Vanessa had a dog, what it would be? Oh, that's a good one. Honestly, I feel like Vanessa would just be really basic and get something like a golden retriever or something like that. Or she would get something really cute. See, for some reason, I'm just thinking of my, like, there's this dog named Dixie who's like, whom I'm living with now. And she's like a cat and like, oh boy, TwistedDisaster is gonna join. But like this dog named Dixie, and she's like a total cat. And like when you go to pet her, she'll just immediately roll over because she wants you to rub her belly, and it's like she's adorable. I digress though. What's Gluttony's favorite food? She doesn't discriminate. She literally will eat, like, she just loves food. So she does not discriminate among food. But I guess I would say generally cake is something she likes a lot. So you said you made Looniverse to make everything you're not supposed to do in a story work. Can you elaborate on what exactly you're doing in Looniverse that you shouldn't be? Well, for one thing, having more than, like, way too many characters and plots in one story, which everyone always encourages you not to do, but haha, take that. Including a lot of characters that do not look like they belong together. Time travel. Just tackling time travel in general. That's not really something people tell you not to do, but yeah, I don't really... It's a lot of just kind of taking cliches and, like, using them, even though... Oh, here's a good one. Infinity's just entire character. Because, you know, really basic character device, which I think is, like, kind of amateur advice, is, like, don't make powerful god characters in stories and make them, like, protagonists. Well, haha, Infinity's a god character, and she's a protagonist. So, you know, there's a character who knows way more about the story than they should because of, like, magic. There is a character that there's just I don't think I could get really specific, but it's a lot of like using cliches or like really bad writing advice, or not, I don't want to say bad writing advice, but you know, advice people give you like advice people give you that's really poorly informed and poorly worded, where they're like, again, like, you can't have a powerful character in a story because that's a Mary Sue, that kind of thing, you know? Like as if you couldn't balance a character like that out and whatnot. So, yeah. Just, I don't know if it's really, that wasn't really good elaboration, but yeah. How do you come up with names for all your characters? I have over 400 characters, and a good fifth of them don't have names, and I don't know where to look. Depends on what character I'm making. A lot of times I'll just use name generators till I get something. I do actually have a lot of characters with duplicate names, but a lot of times they're in totally different stories, and a lot of the times it's like one's a background character, one's a more main character, but that usually happens with like specifically more normal human names, which isn't really that unrealistic because that exists in real life. It just makes sure you can distinguish who you're talking about when you're talking about your characters. But yeah, and then with more like fantasy characters, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of times I just kind of like bullshit my way around it and I translate things into other languages. I have 7 characters distinctly, whom all of their names are literally just translated into other languages. So, you know. I have a story where basically everyone is having a love affair with one character. How do I gracefully write that plot? I don't know. I feel like you would give good advice. I don't really... Like, I don't know what advice you're looking for. Like, how do you gracefully write? Well, there's a lot of ways you could go about that. It would just depend on, like, that would depend on a lot of things. Like, are you following one character's perspective or a lot of characters' perspectives and, you know, whatever. So, like, there's a lot you could do with it. I mean, I like kind of that idea. That feels like a really dramatic story that feels like it would spawn a lot of really good drama. But I don't really know. There's a lot of ways you could go about that, so have fun with that. Question in the universe: if Jackson and Virus had a Pokemon battle, who would win? Probably Jackson, because he'd know more about Pokemon. Because he's that kind of kid. Also, who's your favorite OC you've ever made? Like I said, depends on what story. I like Vanessa, and I like Lust, and I like a lot of different characters of mine. What do you suggest for Shake's hands? I don't entirely understand the question. I apologize. How do you usually make / set up your comics? Do you have most of it planned before drawing the comic, or do you come up with more stuff as you draw the comic? Also, tips to start one. Okay, I have to be careful with this advice because, honestly, a lot with what I've done with Seven Sins and a Baby, I don't recommend if you're making an actual legitimate comic and, like, you want it to be a good quality comic, because Seven Sins and a Baby was never started to be a good comic. It was started to prove I could make a comic, good or bad. So, there's, with Seven Sins and a Baby, I have a general plot idea of where I want to go in mind. So I just kind of work with that, and I just go as I go, and I figure out what happens. And a lot of my framing just comes from, how can I frame this right on the page? I will say one thing that I do that does help is when I'm making the borders for the pages and figuring out how I'm plotting out a certain group, I try not to make the framing the exact same 2 pages in a row, so it's a little bit more interesting. But, like, again, I would recommend when you're actually, if you want to make a legitimate comic that is good, plan out what you're doing before you do it, because that's good comic advice. Seven Sins and a Baby was not made to be a good comic. So, and tips to start one would be to just, when you feel prepared and when you feel ready, you have everything, like your character designs are ready to start with, you know where you want to go with it and everything, you know what you're doing, then like start making some thumbnails and go for it, you know? Will you elaborate on the poly relationship between Felicity, Sphinx, and Xavier? Depends what you want to know about them? Question mark. Like they're not really a main point of Looniverse. There's something that happens as far as character development goes, that happens over time, but they're not like a main. Their relationship isn't a main focus. But they're just kind of like. They're really cute, and obviously a lot of the affection does go towards Felicity a lot of time, but they all do love each other equally, so yeah. Do you have any characters who often break the fourth wall? Yes. And if so, what are your suggestions for writing characters like that? First of all, be careful, because breaking the fourth wall is hilarious, but if you do it too much, it can become very obnoxious, and if you do it at very poor times, it's not funny. Like, again, one of my characters that's probably going to do that a lot in Seven Sins and a Baby is Sloth, because the joke is that he's too lazy to acknowledge the fourth wall. But when you do it, you try to just make it clever, and you try to just make sure it works in fluidly, and also be careful when you just know when to do it and don't overdo it is some of the best advice I could give with that. Like even with like characters like Deadpool, which is like probably one of currently the most famous fourth wall breaking character right now. It knew, like, Deadpool knows when to break the fourth wall, and it knows like when to do it right and how much to do it, like, and it knows not to do it during like dramatic scenes or you totally break the tension, you know? Let's see. Question. Yes. Do you have any complete animal OCs? Like not like half human, half animal, just full animal? Yes, I do. Oh God, can I even say that actually? Shit. Well, I have one in Seven Sins and a Baby, whom is a deer. He's a deer friend, companion to one of my mage masters. I have one in, Looniverse, Jackson has Doc. So there's him. There's a cat in Seven Sins of a Baby who's actually pretty important. But they won't be around for not that long, but they'll be there eventually. Okay. Sorry, I might miss some questions, but I want to scroll to the bottom so I don't let too much build up. So, if you need to re-ask any questions, feel free. Okay. Do you have a favorite line that Lust or Sloth says without disclosing too much? Not any plan. Not any planned lines. I can think of lines I could think up lines they would say, but there's nothing planned for them right now. There's a joke toward, or actually, oh God, hang on, wait a second. Let me think. I might have a good out of context quote for them in like, cause I'm working on the next pages and stuff, and I can't disclose anything, but I might have a good quote from one of them from one of the recent pages. Let me look. Do I even have them? I don't think I have them in my drive right now. Nope, I don't. Well, shit. Well, I don't have them with me right now, so not off the top of my head, and I apologize. Have you ever had a side character who is more interesting than your main characters? Because I have a lot of those. Yeah, that's a common thing that happens. I want to know how they came out to the rest of the household. It just kind of was a thing. In fact, honestly, like, they didn't really have to say anything. Everyone kind of just knew it was happening. Except if you're Jackson and, like, you're just like, oh my God! And then, like, but yeah, so, okay, that's a part of the story that's not written right now, but it wasn't like a big announcement. A lot of the people just kind of knew, except for Jackson, and then Infinity forgets all the time. And also Infinity has a hard time understanding the concept of like romance. So yeah. Question, how do you figure out names for your stories, and how many times have you changed something in a story that significantly changed something? The second one, many times. That's just how story writing works. With titles, it depends on what story. Lunaverse just spawned from I needed a story. Luna's the protagonist, and it has everything to do with the multiverse theory. So I was like, Lunaverse. And that was actually supposed to be a placeholder name, but I guess now it's just kind of the name because it's so ingrained at this point. Seven Cents and a Baby actually came before the story because I just said that name in my head and I thought it was hilarious. It's a good story. My story Naturia just came from I wanted a cool, whimsical sounding fantasy title. I have a story called Colorful, which is called that because all the characters are based on a color. So it's not really anything that means anything significant. That's just what it is. So yeah, it can come from a lot of different places. Question, have you ever made a character with a design that's so unrealistic and odd? I mean, off the top of my head, I'm not sure. Maybe? I'd have to go look. I don't know off the top of my head who would that be. A little earlier, Mitchie mentioned that Luna killed Jackson. She does not. That does not happen. That was Mitchie being a troll. Which of your characters would most likely say, how do you do, fellow teens? Out of all of my characters, I don't really know. Because I don't have a lot of teenage characters. Like, I don't have a lot of teenage characters, honestly. So I don't really know. That Jackson might say that, like, when he was younger. He might say that to his friends. Like, to his work friends, I should say. Question, since Felicity and Xavier are together, what was their first date like? Well, they got together at the same time with Sphinx. And they don't... If they have a first date, I haven't come up with it yet. Because honestly, Sphinx genuinely has no idea what a date is. Or like she's heard of it now that she's in like the world, but she's never like been on a date, you know? And Xavier's not really one to try doing that. Or he'd have a hard time trying to do that again. And Felicity, for a fact, would have no idea what a date is. Which could be really cute, but yeah. So I don't have that in my mind currently. What's the edgiest, angstiest character you've written? I mean, Jay is pretty far up there. Who else? I have a character named Varys, who in total context, he's really edgy, but he's also not. I swear, Vanessa's pretty edgy. She's pretty edgy. I don't know. I don't know who the edgiest is. I guess if I just off the top of my head, Jay is probably the edgiest. Do I have any furry characters? Technically, I have 2. And what I mean by technically, I have one who's like this just really pretty Anthro-alpaca that I found. And I was like, that's pretty. I want her. And I technically have one that's also an adopt, but he's not just a furry. He's like in a range. It's on my toy house. It's hard to explain. He's one of the characters that I came up with a really cool story concept for him, but I have nothing to do with him right now. If the Ludiverse characters were Power Rangers, which colors would they be and what powers would they have? I'm asking for reasons. It's been so long since I've seen anything Power Rangers related, so I would have no idea. So if you want to come up with that yourself, feel free. Have fun with it. I've been trying to make a comic for my characters, but I've never made a comic before. Any tips? The entire story planned out and stuff? Well, I would just say just start it. I think, honestly, if you're trying to make a good comic, the best thing to do is just start making thumbnails of, like, pages and how you want things to be framed and stuff like that, or even just, like, write out some, like, dialogue and motion that you want to happen and what you want to be accomplished and things like that. And honestly, with comics, sometimes the best way to start is to just start one, you know? And I would also suggest... to get a certain amount of pages done before you start posting anything. In fact, honestly, I would recommend the more of the comic you can get done before you start posting things, the better, because, like, trust me, it'll save you so much grief if you just, like, wait and you work on things before you post them. Have you ever made any weird stories? Oh, wait. Have you ever made any weird stories you've made for pure cringe and then got surprisingly attached to it and just kept it as an actual story? I mean, all my stories are pretty weird when you boil it down, so... I mean, do I have any joke stories? Like, I don't think I've ever had a joke story. I just kind of have fun making stories, and I don't really... I rarely make stories with the intention to finish them. I just kind of make them and I have fun with it, so. What would you say to an artist with 100 watchers but has only been on for 2 months? Are they a hacker or something? I wouldn't say anything because I don't, like, sure. That's not really, I mean, that can happen. That's not really that, like, shocking. I don't know. Like, I don't think they're a hacker. Aside from Vanessa, who's one of your gayest OCs, not limited to the universe. Oh, God. I know exactly who my gayest OC is, but I can't say it because that's a huge-ass spoiler. So, there is a character that is, like, gayer than Vanessa. There really is. But I can't say it because it's a huge-ass spoiler. So I apologize. But, oh, God. I feel so bad. Sometimes I'll be able to say it, but yeah. Who's your oldest character off the top of my head? Do you mean oldest in age or oldest in, like, how I've had them? Because my oldest character in terms of the character I've had the longest would be my characters Comet, Eclipse, and Star, whom I need to actually post sometime, who are, like, my original, specifically Comet and Star, because they were the breakaways of just a character I had a long time ago. But yeah, those would be my oldest. In age, my oldest character would probably be one of the reality gods, because in the context of their story, they have been alive since 5 ever. So, yeah. Awful idea. 7 Sins and a Baby, Lazy Town, AU. Question in the universe: do any of your characters not know how to swim? Let me think. I mean, Chrome and Virus probably don't know how to swim. Jay might not, actually. Well, he might. Jay might know how to swim. Who wouldn't know how to swim? Sphinx actually might not know how to swim. Felicity's actually a really good swimmer because, I mean, 2 of her siblings are mermaids, so. Infinity would either know how to swim or not know how to swim. There's not an in-between. So, yeah. Yeah, that's out of the main characters, at least. Okay, hang on, guys. Mitchie's gonna come party with us, guys. Gotta get Mitchie in here. Hello? Oh, no. Hello?
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 Shit, okay, that wasn't a good sign, but I'm here.
Hello?
Hello, how am I coming out? Because I got a new headset for my...
You're coming out all right.
Okay, good. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's on my phone, so...
Yeah. It's audible and understandable, at least for me.
That's good. That's good. Okay.
So hello, everybody. TwistedDisaster is here.
Hello, can I vent for just one hot second?
You want to vent for one hot second? Go for it.
Yeah, I swear, I know this is a theme stream, but I'm just like... oh my god. I'm so sick. We went to 8 apartments today.
Were they all lies?
All of them were lies. Every single one.
Fantastic.
And it was big shit lies. It wasn't like little things. Like on the official website and on the thing. Like the first place we went to, we were really excited for because it's right next to Cody's new work.
Yeah.
Like less than 2 blocks, and it looked really nice. But dude, it was smaller than your San Japan hotel.
Oh, lovely.
It was, which one wasn't what they said on the website. 2, it would have been almost $2,000 a month for that size apartment, and we wouldn't even have a guaranteed parking spot.
Fantastic.
When we brought up, we were like, on the website it says that you have guaranteed parking, and they're like, oh yeah, no, those are for the 2-bedroom, and that's only if there are any available. And we're like, well, are there any available? They're like, oh, we have 2-bedroom available, but no garages available. And so Cody's like, well, then wait, why would you offer that if you don't have an equal amount of garages?
And then they said, oh, because no one would come?
No, that was another place. That was another place.
I just remember reading that, and I was like, oh, great. Fantastic.
Yeah, so that happened, and then we went to another place where, again, we actually called and talked to a person, and they were like, yeah, come to our office. So we go to the address the lady on the phone call gives us. There's apartments, but there is no office at all. So we try calling again, and it's not even that late. It's like, shit, at that time, maybe 2 o'clock, maybe 3. And so we call, and they're like, oh yeah, no, we're closed for the day at 4. And we're like, it's not 4 yet, and we just talked to somebody. And so that happened, so we couldn't even see that apartment.
Fantastic.
Then we went to another apartment where when we go inside, first of all, it's in a very sketchy area. Like, that's like one thing.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, okay, do you have any of the garages available? And they're like, yeah, they're for rent. It doesn't matter your size apartment. And Cody's like, oh, okay, good. How much is the garage? And they're like, well, it's $30 extra a month. And we're like, okay, how many do you have available? And they're like, none.
Fantastic.
And we were like, okay, well, how much is the 2-bedroom? And do we at least get a single guaranteed parking spot? Here's the thing. I'm fine parking on the street. I'm fine parking on the street, moving my car, I work from home. That's fine for me. But Cody should have, if we're paying nearly $2,000 a fucking month, we should have 1 guaranteed parking spot. And they were like, well, there's complex parking, but other people might park there.
Boy.
Yeah, and so we're like, okay, so that's not going to work. And then we go to another place that's an open house, and we go to the open house, and it's a house behind somebody else's house.
Oh my god.
And we're like, okay, so we go there, and we're like, why is this listed as an apartment? And we're like, okay, at least it has a long driveway, and there's like a spot in the back. Because right now, we're just looking for a place to kind of just go.
Yeah, you know? Just looking for somewhere to live.
Exactly. In the situation we're in, it's kind of, that's another thing I can rant about for a minute. But, you know, right now we're just trying to find a place, but Cody needs a parking spot with his job and everything. Again, like I said, I'm fine parking on the street or even parking a couple blocks away. I'm fine with that. But we should have a single guaranteed parking spot.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's not in a garage or even covered parking. Cody said it. He's like, even if I have a spot on the fucking street, as long as it's my spot, I know I get. So that was irritating. But we go to that house one, and we go there, And the guy's like, "Oh no, you're not allowed to park in the backyard." And we're like,
God.
we're like, "Wait, then what's this spot for?" He's like, "Oh, it's for my kids."
Oh,
and we're like, "So it's not an apartment. You're renting out a mother-in-law's house. That's what those are called." And he's like, "Well, yeah." And we were like, "Okay, well, why would we pay $1,800 a month with $100 extra for Binks, just Binks?"
Oh my God.
And we don't even get a guaranteed parking spot. And he's like, "Well,
so
he's like, well, it's in a good neighborhood." And we're like, "No, it's not. We can't even park our car in the area." And so, and then a couple of other places we tried was we found another place where they didn't have parking, but they had lot parking. And we're like, "Okay, fine, we'll go there." So we go there, we go in, and on the website it says trash and water included, and there's no pet fee. So we went there. We go there, we see the place, it's actually really nice, and it was a 2-bedroom within our price range. But then the lady's like, we're like, "Oh, okay, so how much do we have a cap for the sewage and the water?" And she's like, "Oh no, sewage and water aren't included." And we're like, and then we pull up the website, and we're like, "On your official website, it says right here, water and sewage are included." And they're like, "Oh yeah, for the first month."
Oh my God.
And we're like, "Okay, well, what's the average water bill out here?" Because it's in the middle of fucking Long Beach.
Yeah.
Which, even though it's by the beach, it's really expensive. And she's like, anywhere between $200 to $300. And we're like,
oh, great.
We're like, we can't afford that. And then the lady oh my God, the lady's like, "Well, then why are you looking for an apartment in Long Beach?"
Oh
and Cody's like, "I got a job in Long Beach. I start on the 8th. I kind of want a place to live."
Oh my God.
So, Jesus. So, by the end of that, we were just like, we went to see 2 more places where, again, we go to see the freaking apartment office. There is no apartment office. There's apartments, but no offices.
Oh, Jesus.
And so then we're just like, okay, we're just going to go home and we're going to backtrack and we're going to look at Anaheim. Because that's a distance, but at least, like, shit, it's something.
It's something. Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ.
Sorry, but,
yeah,
one more thing. No. I know we haven't talked in forever. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Derailing your stream.
It's
sorry.
Okay.
There's one more thing.
Yeah, just go ahead.
So we've had a couple people message us saying,
Lord.
"Well, you guys aren't really homeless. You're not living in your car."
Oh my God.
And I'm just like,
oh my God.
and I'm like, "Oh, well, thanks." Not really knowing where we were going to stay, kind of, I don't know. To me, that kind of, I don't know. I don't know.
Just thanks for not knowing what the term homeless means. Like,
know.
Oh, goodness.
Anyway, so I know, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring you down. I'm just
No, it's okay.
God.
We haven't talked in 5 ever.
I know. I feel really bad because Cody has to start on the 8th. There's no way around it.
I know, yeah.
So Cody's like, I might have to stay in motels until we can find a place. And so that sucks. But at least, like, we know, because the original place we had on hold with everything going on, it got taken because we had to wait that extra week for Cody's job to get back in.
Which at least he got it, so that's good.
Exactly. No, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I'm not knocking that. I'm super happy.
That would have just been a whole other kind of terrible if, like, you waited that long and you lost it and then he didn't get it.
Well, exactly, because the thing is, too, if we weren't waiting for this job, we would have been moved out already. Like, that was another thing I had to explain to a couple of the asshole people. They were like, "Oh, well, you're 26. You should have been moved out by now." I'm like, we would have been, but we were waiting on this job, which, thank God, it went through, and it went through. It's official. It's good. I'm not going to say what it is just because I don't want Cody to get in trouble or anything.
Right.
But yeah, that's just been my couple of weeks. So, again, sorry to derail the stream, but did you like my stupid fake spoiler? Because people in the chat were losing it.
I know, I saw that and I just knew. Someone brought it back up. I don't think you heard this. Someone else brought it back up. Like, so Mitchie said something earlier about, like, Luna killing Jackson? Can you talk about that? And I was just like, no, she was being a troll.
Yeah, I was being a dick. So yeah, any questions, guys? I'm sorry.
Hello.
Again, sorry for that random tangent.
Mitchie is here.
I am here. Hi.
Hello.
Well, honestly, okay. Since Cody got that job, things have gotten a lot better for us.
Yeah.
It's just literally trying to find a place right now.
Yeah, in California.
Exactly, because a couple of people are like, "Oh, it sucks you're not getting an office," and I'm like, we're looking for literally just a place right now.
We just want a place to live and function.
Because again, technically, yes, we're not living in a car, but I consider us being homeless. You know? But that's just kind of it, is we need to find a place for probably a year, because no one does frickin' month to month. And then our big overall plan is, because we found out how much Cody's going to be making, and that's going to help a lot. So, but it's literally like, just because he's going to be making that doesn't mean he's going to get it right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we're like, we just need a place right now. Then we'll have a year to actually look. So that way it's not like, we're not in the situation we're in, where we're like, okay, it just needs to have a bedroom that's not in the living room, and take pets, and have at least one parking spot.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Just Jesus Christ.
And I'm sorry, I don't feel comfortable paying almost $2,000 for the size of the San Japan apartment.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot for an apartment in a not nice area.
Yep.
All right, let's see.
Oh, goodness. All right.
How are you doing other than being about the jerk apartment people? I've actually been doing really good. So other than this situation, things with the wedding are going great. I got to talk to a seamstress about my dress. I got my wedding shoes and my tights. So literally the only things we have left for the wedding are literally the DJ, which we're going to pay off probably this week. And then I probably should say something, because a lot of people are concerned. Guys, it wasn't an issue about money. Like, that was something I had to, like, really emphasize with people. It's not like we're flat broke. It's not like that at all. It's just literally that we had to wait. That was it.
It's not that kind of homeless.
Exactly. We're not, yeah. God, no. But, which I'm very grateful for. I'm not knocking it.
Yes.
But, yeah, it wasn't, because, like, a lot of people were giving me, like, donations and super chats, and I was like, oh, it's very thankful, but, like, you know, do you want me to return it? Like, the money is not the issue.
Yeah.
It was literally just waiting.
Which now I've actually realized that I can technically set up doing super chats now, because I'm 18, but, like...
Oh, right!
Which I don't even need the money, I just know that I could.
I mean, hey, don't knock it. You want to do San Japan next week.
This is true.
So, guys, real talk, though. Zodiac really loved San Japan. Would you guys want for him to try to get a booth? Now, keep in mind...
Oh, I wasn't even saying I wasn't going to get a booth this time.
No. What I'm saying is it's a raffle system, so even if you try, you might not get it.
This is true.
This is what I'm saying. So don't be like, yeah, he's going to get a table, but he's going to apply, because we're going to make him.
Yes.
And I'm going to force me. And I'm going to apply, and Holly's going to apply again. And me and Holly will probably table share again. Because I know I'm not going to have enough for a full
I'd probably need
table.
to table share with someone just because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Honestly, I'm telling you right now, table share. Like, I learned so much from that con. I know this has nothing to do with the freaking the stream, and I'm sorry, guys.
We gotta get a bunch of conversation in that hasn't happened for a while.
I know. And I got a while because we're not going out to dinner afterwards. Cody's exhausted. I don't blame him. We've literally been gone all day doing this shit.
Oh yeah.
Blah blah blah. I can tell you right now, from what I learned, almost all of the full tables, unless they had pre-existing merch, that is at least $1,000, if not more, in just merchandise.
Woo!
Like, like, with my thing, with all the stuff I bought, which I thought was a lot of stuff, I spent about $600, and that was for a half table. So, I mean, I made it back. So now I have a lot of that merch still left over, which is why, by the way, cough, cough, I have a sale on my store. So if you guys do want to help, I should have a link in my thing where I know I'm being shameless right now, but I want to at least get rid of the prints. Yeah, I have so many prints.
I know.
So, but yeah, that was something I learned. And the cool thing is, too, Zodiac and I and all of our buddies, we got a cool thing. So Zodiac, I was going to tell you, you sketch so much, you should just make a sketchbook and sell that, because sketchbooks are the hot ticket item.
Oh,
like,
really?
Holly and my neighbor made more money off of their books, off of anything else they sold.
Oh.
Because here's the thing, and it makes sense. People are more willing to spend $20 on a book than $20 on a print.
I can see that, yeah.
And we also had a lot of people coming up to our booth. They weren't even rude, but they were like, I don't have, like, wall space for this, or I just moved, or this and that. So they would buy the art books and the zines and Holly's wow comics.
It's my favorite.
So that's what I plan on doing. Is
I could.
It'll be up in my store for San, but I am working on making a sketchbook of my sketches.
Yeah, my only thing would be that for some reason recently, I don't know if I'm just like in that phase right now with like my art, is that like I haven't been like sketching in my actual physical sketchbook in so long. Like,
well, no, I mean,
I will, but I really gotta make myself do it for some reason.
Oh no, I get what you're saying, because that's been kind of me recently. But
plus,
what I was trying to say
digital art, man.
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying is you can make a sketchbook from your digital sketches too.
This is true. I mean, I got enough of those.
And I'm saying, with all the stuff you have, you can cut all the spoiler stuff out in the concept art.
That's true.
And no one would know.
Yeah, just make a bunch of theme pages. Yeah.
I mean, I would know, but that's different.
I mean, I'd still have pictures I couldn't put in there, but I could also put in pictures in there with no context. Like,
you mean the Wrath pinup picture that you did recently?
No, that's not what I meant. This exists. Yes, and those are things I could put in the book. Yes. But that was not what I was referring to. Oh, goodness.
Yes.
But yeah. So fun times.
And Michi's characters, too. I mean, you could. I wouldn't care. You could put my character stuff in there if you want. It's as long as your sketches...
See, now everyone's just mentioning the fact that you said pinup.
I mean, are you honestly going to tell did not draw Wrath shirtless?
I did, because it's all Pythoness's fault. I just want everyone to know that it was 100% Pythoness's fault, and now I'm going to do all 7 of them, because...
Good! They need pinup!
And Sloth's is going to be hilarious, because I know exactly what I'm going to do for him.
I was going to say, I'm trying to picture his, and it's all I can see it as being funny, because...
It's going to be hilarious. Sexy. Because he looks 15, and he looks even younger than that. So,
no, I know,
that's funny.
That's why I feel like he would just be like, this is gross.
No, I know what he's gonna do. I'm gonna have him, because all of them I'm gonna have, because since Wrath's was like horizontal, I want to have like all the others be horizontal, except for Sloth's.
He's gonna be vertical?
Yeah, he's gonna be vertical, because he's just gonna be basically wearing a bathing suit with his back to the camera and just like flipping it off.
So that's what I kind of picture.
Yeah, because it's ironic because, again, he has, like, the most badass, like, quote, tattoos, like, out of all 7 of them. But, like, he looks like a child.
Sad reason. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a very, very valid reason, but yes. And it's also hilarious because he's the one who wears the most clothes.
I mean, I wonder why.
I wonder if it's because he's lazy. And also if he's just used to wearing, like... clothes made for winter. Cough, cough. Anyway.
Cough, cough, cough.
Yes.
I'm so confused right now.
Good. I like that they included the uwu face.
The uwu, yes. Just so you guys know, if you do have any story questions, I will try to keep us on track, and if not, we are gonna... If we don't have questions, we are gonna end up just bullshitting.
Here is a question. We are both prone to tangents, and even more so when in the same chat room together. So, yes.
Yes.
Do you post your stories anywhere other than DeviantArt? If so, where? Not really. I mean,
you put your stuff on Tapas.
Yeah, 7 Cents and a Baby's on Tapas, but like, as far as anything else story related, it's just mostly on DeviantArt.
Mine isn't out yet, so.
Yeah. Well, I think they were asking for, like, story stuff in general, because, yeah.
DA.
Yeah, 100% DA. You can also, I don't know, I have Discord if you just, like, want to ask me random questions there on occasion when you feel like it. I don't know, but yeah.
Did you update your Discord link to your new one?
Yes. Or no, I did. Okay. Well, it's not on, my Discord link's not, like, posted anywhere. It's like I just put it in my old chat and was like, hey, y'all.
Oh, someone just asked
what's the latest happenings in Crackland?
Well,
oh boy,
fuck, a lot,
yeah.
Let's see,
lots of babies.
I
like our chapter that happened recently that was love babies and vegetarianism.
Yeah.
That was,
You want to explain that one? Because that one was fun. So, Gabe is now a vegetarian. He's not full vegan like Tetsu, but he's a vegetarian now.
Yes.
I should say, like, Tetsu's more of a lax vegan, though, because she's polite.
Yeah.
So, like, if someone else gives her food, she's not gonna correct them on it.
Yeah, or she'll still make it for, like, other people, too.
Yeah, she makes it for other people, because she knows that, like, especially with, like, in my normal story, Ken is very much a meat eater. Yeah. And so is Naya for very obvious reasons. Yes. And she's like,
why.
I haven't a clue. I hope this washi tape works. Sorry, I'm like trying to also get this painting done for my friend's birthday, which is tomorrow. Because no, I totally didn't procrastinate because I've been stressing my mind out.
Shh,
it's
fine. It's shush.
That's crazy.
Shush.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's see, hold on. Sorry if it's kind of off topic, but a problem I have when trying to make comics is just making perfect boxes next to each other. How do I avoid this? Is it even a bad thing? Isn't the thing is, like, make thumbnails? Isn't that a good thing to do? Or
yeah, well, you can make thumbnails, and if you're talking about, like, having two panels next to each other that are the same size, that's common. That's usually what people do with comics.
You kind of want them to be close to the same size.
Yeah, or like, well, because I think they're saying, like, is it not dynamic enough to have it, like, but, like, obviously, 7 Sins and a Baby is not the perfect, like, epitome of comic design, but, like, it's not uncommon to, like, that's usually how it is with framing. In fact, having all of your comic panels always completely different sizes are going to be, yeah. Grids aren't best for dynamic shit. That's true. Thanks, Holly. Hi, Holly.
Oh, is Holly here? Hey,
hi, Holly. But yes, that's true. But, like, as just in general, you don't have to avoid them if they work for your structure. But, like, I mean, like Holly said, they're not best for dynamic shit. But yeah, you could do them. Like,
come to me, giant ruler. I'm in Cody's grandmother's sewing room, and she has these, like, giant ass sewing rulers. And this is the only place in the house where I can talk like me and not feel bad. Because Cody's... Oh my god. So, funny thing. Real quick. Sorry for a tangent. But I was on Twitter. I wasn't even drawing anything. Which, thank god I wasn't. Because some of the references I have are not safe for work. I mean, I don't care. But, like, freaking Cody's grandfather out of nowhere... Because I'm working in their kitchen.
Oh, I remember this.
You know that. Yeah, I put it on Twitter where he was like, oh my god! Why is that man shirtless and covered in blood? And I'm just like... oh my god, how do I explain this? And I'm like, it's a pin-up, it's fine. It's like, but why is he covered in blood? And then I love freaking PK, because PK's like, oh, it's white blood cell. I was like, yeah, it was the Star Pirate pin-up. Yes. But, still, it was very awkward, and so I remember sitting here like, oh, thank god, because I have a lot of not safe for work references. I mean, I don't care, but, they do. I have also learned that my headset is a blessing, because... oh my god, do they love talking about politics? But I'm just like, I just want to draw some furry shit. Like, can I get my work done? I know you don't mean anything by it, but Jesus Christ, I don't want to hear about the concentration camps again.
Oh Lord.
So,
oh yeah, we were gonna finish the story about Gabe being a vegetarian.
Right. Okay. So explain that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, so they were on a little adventure and stuff, and everything was great. And
they went to my world to chill on an elf island.
Yeah, it was fun. And they were going to have breakfast, so, like, their big sister Cassie, like, went with them to go, like, get fish for the morning. Now, Gabe, for some reason, I've just always imagined, because he's been fishing before, but it was always a situation where, like, the fish was dead when it was, like, when he saw it. So
because it was Tibble, so he probably killed the fish.
Because even though currently in Crackland, Gabe is like 12, almost 13, although technically he's 13, but he looks
like, technically he's 13.
That's besides the point. Although he looks like that, he still like acts like a 5-year-old. So I always imagined he just thought for some reason that like when you eat like animals that they were already dead and that like you're just like cleaning up or something like that. So when like Cassie pulled all the fish out of the water, like I think
they were alive.
Yeah, Dimitri like yelled something like, oh, "They're still alive!" And it's like Cassie was like, "Yeah, not for long." And like Gabe just like freaked out and flipped his shit because he's like, "You mean we murder animals to eat them?"
And Cassie was just like, well, yes, we kind of always have.
Like, Gabe, did you just not know this? And he's like, no. And then
poor boy.
I remember just Dimitri being like, "Oh, this is one of the few timelines where he becomes a vegetarian."
Yeah.
And then so like it's just from that moment he was like, "I can never eat meat again. I can't.
And so then
my pets will be mad at me."
And so that was what was great, so Tybalt, being my son, was like, "Okay, I know how to fix this. We'll just show him that it's a part of nature." So he bought him a fucking chicken.
Yeah, he got him a chicken from, like, Franny's farm or whatever.
Yeah, and he tried to explain, he's like, "Okay, listen, this is what farmers do. When the chickens stop laying eggs, they have no other use for them, so they, put them down and they eat them." And then Gabe was just like, "Oh, okay, well, she's not gonna not lay eggs." And he was like, "Wait, what?"
He's just never. She's never gonna stop.
And it's like, that's not how, no.
Never.
Like, you can't just do that.
And then we also realized it was so perfect because for anyone who doesn't know, we had a joke a long time ago that eventually Gabe's gonna get 12 pets and they're gonna be all the zodiac signs. So at that moment he had a crab named Cancer who just screams everything he says.
Who's voiced by Danny DeVito. That's the only headcanon we have.
He's voiced by Danny DeVito, and that's Cancer, and he just likes to pinch things. And
I based him off of the Chihuahuas that think they're bigger than everything else, but they're not.
Yes, I love Cancer, which was a total accident that just happened.
Yeah.
And then he has a unicorn named Sagittarius, and so then I was like, oh my god, what if the chicken's name was Virgo? And she'll always be a virgin.
And so see, he said that, and then I had a really stupid joke because I like fucked up jokes. Yep. Where when Gabe gets older and stuff, Dimitri would be making an omelet or something, and he just stops and he's like, "No, there was a rooster in the backyard." And Dimitri was like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "It's not safe. We don't know." It's like, well, did you just see it? I got these this morning. It's like, not safe. You just have to kind of put the egg back.
I think the first joke was that he'd be a kid and he'd be eating an egg and he'd ask a question. It's like, how do we know if there's not a baby chicken inside the eggs? And Tybalt's just like, well, you see, there needs to be a rooster to make the eggs have a baby chicken in it. And then a rooster walks by and Gabe just puts the egg down it's tainted now.
Yeah.
And it's just, oh, I love Gabe.
Yeah, it's so sad though because Tybalt still loves his kids. So he's trying, but he really doesn't. The thing with Tybalt is he's not an asshole. He doesn't get it. Yeah, and that's the thing with his character is he's if it literally doesn't make sense to him, he'll still try. But if it doesn't make sense, it's probably not going to make sense to him. So he's just God damn, my son's gonna be one of those freaks who milks nuts. It's just how do you milk a nut? It doesn't make sense. And it's I know how that works because I've had milked nuts, Jesus Christ. I've had almond milk and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, but that's the best part is because he's just just don't have it then. If you don't want to eat it, don't try milking things that don't naturally milk. And I don't know why. I have a thing with all of my mages where they have this weird. I do blame it off of me because there are some weird things with food that I don't understand. And so I made each one of my characters have that kind of thing with the food. It's with Ringmaster hating pears. He just really hates pears. There is literally no reason for it. He's not allergic to them. He never had he just hates them. He hates pears.
Well, see, that's always the thing I find fun with characters is when there's something about them that has no explanation. That's just how it is because that's just real life. Sometimes you just hate something with a passion and you don't know why.
Because okay, in a future Mark idea I had of this would be a modern one. I told you about this.
Right.
There's an Earth mage who he eats all meat except fish because of a traumatizing thing that happened to him. His name is Daniel, and I actually have drawn him up a couple times. I just never posted him. So I'll have to show you him. He's actually like really, really sweet.
Oh no!
And I told you it's the one where that's the timeline where Tybalt's next life is the really, really sassy Indian girl.
Yeah, I know. I love it.
And everything. Yeah, I love Archie. So they're like, wait, why don't you eat fish? And he just kind of like remembers this time fishing with his dad, and just the fish just screamed at him because my Earth mages, they can hear animals, which is why Tetsu doesn't eat meat. Is because at a very young age you would hear them screaming, and the reason for that is because how she hears them isn't like how they would like logically talk with animal brains. You know, it's more like a Dr. Dolittle thing. So like she hears them talk like people. Yeah. So as a small kid, she never knew why. She would just always hear screams all the time, and it kind of traumatized her. And then the cook, she watched Kill a Pig, and she was like, "Oh, the screams are from them." I'm not eating meat ever again. So
also, apparently everyone's asking if Taurus is a dog.
I was gonna say I thought Taurus was like the bull.
Yeah, Taurus is a bull. I think they were just, I don't know. I think they were making a connection with something else, like asking like, is Taurus a dog? We don't know what the other
we don't have
pets are gonna be. I think we might.
We had the offshoot joke that Gabe was gonna get a unicorn before the Zodiac thing happened.
Yeah, that was.
So then I remember being like, well, there we go. The unicorn could be a Sagittarius because in my story, in my world,
it would be weird to have a pet centaur.
I know, it'd be kind of. Wouldn't that be like essentially fucked up? Like, wouldn't that be slavery? Because they're like technically people.
That'd just be kind of fucked up. Yeah. And then, but we did have the joke that since Angel had that pet Selkie, that like Henry, that she had Henry, and we didn't know like what to do. All magic universe of scared vegans. Oh goodness. But yes, so like she had a Selkie, and we realized just like Henry never came back up. So we were like, what if at some point she lets Gabe have him, and then Gabe does his magic shit, and so now he has another talking animal, and then it's like, oh, my name's actually Capricorn. So it's not a fish goat, but it's a hooved animal with a tail. It's close. So it's close enough.
And you know what? It does have horns, because mine have horns, so my little kelpies have horns.
I love it.
Oh, god damn it, Lana, I need your fucking references.
No, but yeah, so that happened, and now Gabe is a vegetarian.
Oh, Cassie's pregnant, and Dimitri had a fucking existential crisis because of it.
Yeah, because he didn't see it in any of the brief futures he's seen.
Yeah, because, like, okay, I guess I should explain this. Yeah. You know this.
Yes.
But, so, how I made my time mage work, because time travel and time magic in any story can be a huge ex machina. It can be a huge story breaker if not done right. So I had to really tweak it around and like figure out how to make it work where it wasn't extremely OP, especially with the fact that their thing can't kill them. Yeah. So because of that, I was like, okay, after they get so old, their memory gets really bad because they still technically have human-ish brains. Yeah. So it wouldn't like they would go like full Alzheimer's. It wouldn't be like that, but it would be like, you know, like I'll use Siren as a really good example. Yeah. She's really old, so a lot of the good parts of like her childhood, her friendships, a lot of that is gone because of all the trauma she's been through. So she doesn't remember a lot of those good times. I know, my poor scarred up baby. You know, and so then like with Dimitri, how the whole time travel thing works is because
hang on, I'm sorry, I just saw this missed opportunity if the Taurus isn't a bulldog.
Oh fuck! Okay, we have to do that now. You have to write that down.
That's gonna have to be Taurus now. A bulldog.
That has to be a thing. You have to write that down.
Thank you, animated being, and hi.
Oh, hi, animated being. Your Gabe animation is good, guys. Check out animated being. People ask me all the time who did my Tetsu animation. It's that great. Bitch.
It's great.
It's worth every penny. Seriously.
It is. It really is.
What was I saying? Oh, okay. So, sorry. Like I was saying, fuck my brain. So how it works is they can see every timeline, but in a way they can't turn it off. So they see it all the time, but so they don't go nuts because they can go insane. That's kind of why a lot of them kill themselves. Cough.
Right.
So they have to like learn to focus, which is why like everyone, at least in Crackland and in the normal story, they like spend a lot of time training Dimitri to like focus and be calm.
Yep.
Because if not, he probably would go insane.
Quite.
So with the whole Cassie thing, he was like, no, wait, because of Gabe and Crackland magic.
Because
He's
Gabe's
up so many times that he like wrote notes down that he could remember to be like, okay, this has to happen for it to be in a good timeline, and this has to happen, and so then Cassie getting pregnant, and he's like, wait, that doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen
yet. And he's like flipping through. He's like, no, in every one I've seen, there's this and that. And then I think it was one of my characters that was like, maybe it was Siren. I think it was Siren.
Yeah, probably Siren.
She was like, yeah, there are like cracks within the cracks that can happen. And now boom, you're in a whole different realm of possibilities, which again will go to like the losing your mind thing if you don't know how to focus.
Right. I quite.
So, I know. But it's also why she's got her issues, so.
Yeah. Quite. But that's another thing. Siren and Kai are gonna have another boy.
I know.
Or they're gonna have a boy.
An official boy.
Yes. One that's not Dimitri.
Yeah, because now she's human.
Yes.
I was gonna say
it'd be a good boy.
Sounds so fucked up out of context, but I was like, yeah, a non-Asian one. Dimitri's Asian, and that doesn't. I know it sounds really bad, but he's Asian. Siren and Kai aren't, even though his name is Kai.
It's fine. But yes, so they're gonna have.
I'm late. What if your character themselves? I mean
that. See, that's a question with a lot of answers.
Potatoes. Someone's like, potatoes or waffles?
Potatoes.
And I will take potatoes, like, hands down. Potatoes. I like waffles, but I will always have potatoes over waffles.
Potatoes are always good. Potatoes.
Hey, what's up? I'm talking to Morgan.
Yeah.
Wait, what's going on? Is it okay? Oh, I was going to work on the painting. I told you that. Because I thought we weren't going to dinner. Oh, okay. Is everything okay? Yeah. Okay. Well, find a bunch of places and I'll look at it when I'm done because I want to get it done. Don't be mean to my water. I love you. You sound really tired.
Matt brought up an issue.
You want me to mute real quick? I mean, he's streaming, so that's why I'm asking.
Stream.
Alright, hold on. It's not your fault, so I gotta mute real quick.
Nah, yeah, it's fine. Okay. Hi, guys. So it's just me for a minute, because she's gotta talk about things. So, hello. Wait, Siren's still alive in Crackland? I thought she was dead, because Dimitri. She died! But Gabe exists! There's a lot of characters that should be dead, but hello. Gabriel exists, and Gabriel breaks all laws of everything, because he's Gabe. So, yep. And we also couldn't keep her dead because it was too sad. I keep going off topic. Help me, I'm dying. Art blog stabbed me and I can't draw anymore. Please help. Well, I don't really know how to help. I don't know. Which of the sins would shout do a flip like in Futurama? Sloth, probably. That's just in his personality. I don't know if it's just me, but bringing a character back to life takes the suspense away from me. Oh no, I agree, but we're in Crackland and we want all of our characters to have happy ever afters, so... But listen, it's okay, because we have Kai Jr. and we're gonna have Eric now, and it'll be great. And Siren's just great comedic relief, so... I mean, if we were, by all means, if we were actually making a well fleshed out, like, meant to make you cry story, we would keep her dead, as we would keep other characters dead. But, yes. Crackerland rule number 1, nothing needs to make sense. Yeah. Well, it's weird because there are things that make sense in the sense that it doesn't make any sense, but that's another story. Are you working on Seven Sins and a Baby? If so, how far along are you? I am working on it. I am on pages... Shit. I'm on pages... I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm slow and I need to be better about that. Which of your sins would kill the spider? Assuming, of course, the spider is present. Probably Wrath, just because he doesn't really care. Yes. So. Yes. Oh no, I'm yawning. Ah. We're waiting on Mitchie. Remember, guys, just if you have a question you want to get asked, just like at one of us and start it off with question or something like that. Just clicking through DNR again. Because I'm a dork. Why is Luna so rude? Cause she just don't give a shit. That's Luna. Is it a bad thing to combine stories into one big nega story? I mean, no. I mean, so long as you do it correctly, it's fine. Will you get back to doing character reviews anytime soon? I'd love to give some of that spicy criticism from you. Probably not. I don't really have any, and I just don't have the time or energy for it right now. If I ever do them again, I would probably be in the form of a commission, like, or not a commission, a stream, you know? So, yeah. Oh dear. I don't know what I'm doing. Just tit-tapping around. Oh, I gotta think of... This is, like, not related to anything, but I need to think of, for next month in my Patreon, for my Patreon request, I should probably find something like Halloween themed I could do. It'd be fun. Quick, if you could turn into any 7 sins in a baby character's life into a vinyl, what song would it be? I don't really know, because I don't really know songs that well. Like, I don't know songs that well at all. I ended up planning out every detail of my main stories, and my friend doesn't think it's a good idea, but my stories' small details have important meanings. Is it a good idea?
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, hi. I'm answering a question. Do you want to answer this question with me?
What's the question?
I ended up planning out every detail of my main stories, and my friend doesn't think it's a good idea, but my stories' small details have important meanings. Is it a good idea to do so?
Okay, where is it? Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
I ended up planning out every detail of my main story. Good idea, but my story's small details. Okay, so in story writing and storytelling in general, there are a lot of little that we as creators think, but the overall
You're cutting out
of the
really
story. Ah, fuck. Hold on.
bad. Hello?
Hello? Any better?
I think
Am I
so.
better?
Yeah.
Okay, sometimes I have to do that. Anyway, what I was trying to say was, it depends if you're a panzer or a plot type writer. I don't know what a panzer is for a writer. What I was going to say was, there are a lot of small details that we think are important because we're creators, but in the overall arciness of the story, it's not that important. A really good example is Tetsu's eye markings are extremely important to her story. In every sense of the word. But a good example is Tybalt's face markings aren't important to his story. So, in my thing, there's a whole chapter describing on how Tetsu got hers, while Tybalt just kind of offhandedly explains what happens to his friends. He doesn't need a whole chapter describing how he did his, because his was stupid and not important. It just happened, and now he has a scar.
Well, I think they're just saying like they've already planned out like their whole story. So and their friend was saying that it wasn't a good idea. So is their friend right or not? Is their friend right or not?
Okay, again, that depends. Like in that case, the type of story you're writing, and okay, yeah. People who for a pantser, it's as they go with vague ideas and things to do. Plot writers have it took me years. I
think you're cutting out a lot again.
Okay, call. Am I back?
Yes.
Am I?
Oh.
Shit, hold on. Am I?
Nope.
Hello?
Hello.
Am I still here?
Yes.
Oh, perfect for me.
What?
I said you're coming out perfect for me. The fuck?
Oh no.
Oh wait, let me try this. Hold on. Let me try.
Oop. Do.
Is any better?
I think.
Okay, I'm on data. That's why. I was on Wi-Fi in this place gets no Wi-Fi, so I'm thinking that might be why.
Yeah. Well.
Okay, how should I make it easier? What if Chrome met himself? Would he like himself? Same question for Virus. I think my character, I think all of mine would probably, have, they, either faint, freak out, or try to fight themselves.
I think that sums up pretty much what all characters would do in a nutshell. Except for the rare few that would fuck themselves.
This is true. You mean Lust?
I feel like he wouldn't oh god. Could I even really go it? Hang on. I'll type it to you.
I feel like he wouldn't.
Hang on.
I feel like, I don't know, for me, as a joke, he would at least tell everybody he did. And then
he
be
would. That would be in his character.
That'd be so you just, you literally fucked yourself. Yeah, you do it every day. What's it looking up? Sorry about the cut. I don't know why Cody was being weird. It wasn't that bad a thing.
Oh.
Because he found this really, really nice place that's perfect for both of us, but it's not done till November. Oh. So he was saying, I might have found a place in the meantime for a month that we would have a roommate for, and then we would move in November. And I'm like, that's fine. And he's like, well, are you sure? I'm like, it's a month, right? Like, yeah, I can do that. We just need a place right now so you can go to work.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, if I'm just saying, like, we can't wait a month and then move in because you start on the 8th and you're not going to be able to drive. Because from where we are right now to his new job is a 1 hour and 40-minute drive with no traffic.
Yeah.
And that's just not possible distance-wise. It's not the money thing, it's the distance.
Yeah.
So, anyway, okay. I like this question. Pyth asked, out of all of your characters, which OC has changed the most?
Are we talking about, like, which one changes the most in their story, or which one has changed the most since I first created them?
Yeah, that is a good distinction.
Yes.
Bitch, load this goddamn picture, please. That would be great. I want to just get this stupid painting done. Scrum!
Oh, goodness. I have been having a lot of fun with, because I've recently started doing more world building on one of my other stories that I'm remaking. Oh, Pyth just clarified both. Okay. Well, while I'm on the topic of world building, the character that I've had that's, like, changed the most since their original creation is, my character Star, because she broke into 2 other characters that are, like, kind of totally different from what she used to be. And story-wise, that's a good question.
I'm gonna say all of mine.
Yeah.
Probably the only ones that didn't change that much are my Ticks and Turns characters, but I don't talk about them much.
Shh, it's fine.
But yeah, like, when I first made Tetsu and them, yeah?
I'm trying to think. Hang on. I'd probably say in Seven Sins of the Baby, I'd say probably...
I feel like a lot of them changed from when you first made them.
all of the sins changed drastically over their stories, because that's kind of the point. Maybe except for Sloth, because Sloth's pretty... He had to learn one lesson, and that was to not be an idiot. Like...
And he learned that lesson pretty hard.
Yeah, he learned it pretty quick. So... Yeah, and then in Luniverse... God, I don't know who really changes the most in Luniverse.
All I can think of is that really sad comic that the person did with my idea of, like, oh, here you go, Luna. You'll just remember everything. And it's like, oh, now I'm sad.
Cries. Oh, well, actually, Infinity probably changes the most, but I can't explain why, because that's a mega spoiler. So, I mean, I could tell you, but not on camera.
No, I know. Well, you were gonna type me something.
I'm gonna type you something. Oh, good. I don't know if I could actually, like, type it out, like, while I'm talking.
What? That sucks.
What?
I just saw your thing about why he wouldn't.
Yeah.
Do it. And I'm like, fuck, that makes sense, but that's still sad.
This is a fucked up joke, but he'll fuck the alternate universe versions of his friends. Wouldn't fuck himself. Well, which is ironic, because he wouldn't fuck the alternate version of himself. I was
gonna say, yeah, he wouldn't do that either, because the alternate version, I was like,
he just wouldn't fuck anything relating to him. Like,
how about no? Because I literally watched this kid grow up.
How about no? Because he's basically my nephew, and even that's a little bit too weird for me, so thanks.
And it's like, I have some taste.
I have some standards.
AU Greed. I like you. You're good. And I like making normal Greed uncomfortable.
I don't mind hanging out with you and simultaneously making Greed uncomfortable because it's fun. But Lucas? No. No.
Definitely no.
Yeah, so I'll type this in between talking because it's kind of long.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I got you.
So yeah, there's the answer to your question, Pai.
I'm also doing this painting, so... Yeah. I'm excited. I get to see the nun for the fucking, second time.
Yay!
Because my friend really wants to see it for her birthday, and it is fucking hilarious, okay? I love that movie. There is literally a part... Do you care if I spoil the part?
Yeah, let's go ahead. I'm not gonna see it, so...
So there's literally a part where, I shit you not, they have to get the blood of Jesus Christ that's in this convent. And when they find it, no, that's not the funny part.
Yeah.
When they find it, the random guy goes, "Holy shit." And the priest turns to him in all seriousness and says, "The holiest." And I fucking lost it. I'm like, this movie, 10 out of 10. Would recommend. It's not scary. It's just fucking hilarious.
That's great.
And so my friend doesn't know, and I'm just sitting here like, okay, I will see this movie again.
That's amazing. Which sin would most likely attack lust after what he did? That would be wrath. I don't even need to finish that sentence.
After what he did? What'd he do?
No, after what he did to the alternate version of, as in like if he had sex with the alternate version of them. That would be wrath.
Well, I think Wrath would be even more upset because his like alternate universe self was a little bitch. So.
I know.
He was a little bitch with literally no like no self-worth. Because I remember that it's like, oh god, okay, I'll suck your dick, just leave me alone. And he was
God,
just
that
like,
was so funny and terrible.
He just lost it. He was like, excuse me?
How about no?
How about no with my face? And you lie?
Oh god.
And if I didn't sound extremely racist, I would try to do an accent right now. He has one.
See, I feel like I actually got a comment at some point, or just like while the stream started, that someone said I had canon that Wrath's voice is Bakugo's, or some version of Bakugo's.
I mean, just make him Spanish. There you go.
There we go.
I like this person's question. I don't know if you can answer it, but I do know the answer to this question. It's do any of your characters have alternate forms, like extremely different from what they normally look like? And I'm like, I know of one, but I don't know if I can say it.
Wait, which one?
It's one of the sins. You've told me about this.
Oh, that's right. Wait. Question mark?
Let me type it.
Wait, because I think I know what you're talking about, but I also don't think I know what you're talking about. Oh, right. Well, yeah, but hers is just her being really angry.
Oh, so I can't talk about it. I didn't know if I can talk about it.
That's just okay. Because you saw the concept art for that, so that's not a spoiler. That's part of her powers.
Oh, you never showed me the concept art for that.
No, I thought you did, because when we were in Japan, you went through the book, and you're like, oh.
Oh, right. Okay, I forgot it was in the book. Sorry.
Yeah.
I flipped through your sketchbook very fast.
That's not really an alternate form of her, though, because that's just basically, like, if she eats enough of something, that's kind of the joke is that when she eats enough of something, that her whole body is it, and she can't eat anymore, essentially, that's when her mouth goes away.
So are you telling me that she is what she eats?
Yes, that's from... I've told you, Mitchie. It's in her bio.
I know.
That's the joke.
I know, but I still hate it. I still hate that pun. I don't like puns.
I know. Oh, goodness. Has Lust wooed any of the sins? Yes, constantly.
I think he's done all of them except for Sloth, because I feel like even though he's like, I know you're legal, but you don't look it.
No, he hasn't actually had sex with any of the sins other than pride.
Oh, is that what they were asking? I thought he just meant being flirty.
I thought that was the face. Or no.
Oh.
Wait, I'm confused. What did you think they mean?
I thought they meant like flirting with the sins.
Oh, like flirting? Yeah, he's flirted with all of them.
That's what I'm saying. I thought he flirted with all of them except Sloth. That's what I was saying, yeah.
I thought they were just talking about like making an ooh face. That's just my brain. Yeah,
I'm actually pretty scared of him doing like the full ooh face, like with the big eyes and everything. Just because, like, I feel like that would be unsettling. And all the sins would say so too. They're just like, don't do that. Never do that again.
Has he done the sex with any of them? He's done it with pride. All of the others, ironically, he hasn't for different reasons. One of them I can't say, because that's a spoiler.
Yeah.
Basically, he's not their type, essentially, and he respects that. He won't do it with Sloth because looks like a child. He looks like
that's one of those. It's like that stupid picture that I really hate. It's that like the one you sent me. I'm 20. No, you ain't.
No, you ain't. I love that picture.
It's so true though, because like someone asked me that. They're like, "Oh, so like since Siren like looks like a 12-year-old, but she's really old, she's had sex, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but she aged herself up."
Yes.
Because like even though, and it's gross, but that is human history.
Yes.
Even though back then that age was kind of normal.
Yep.
I'm still not comfortable with it. Like it just. I know back in those times that was completely common. I'm still not comfortable with it, so that's why I'm like, you know what, Sarah, you just aged yourself up. You gave yourself titties, and they've been a lady body, and you're good.
No,
and then I don't know, and me, I think it's always funny because when she sleeps, she like goes back down. So it's,
right.
I don't know, I think it's funny because
I think it's funny.
That happened to Kai once. I remember he like got really uncomfortable.
Well, no, he was just scared because like he knows like. Full context, like, it's fine, this just because she fell asleep, and like, oh, that's cute, oh shit, I don't really want someone to see me in this situation and think I did something bad.
Yeah, because she looks like she's 12.
Yeah.
Which is great, because when that's why I always say, like, if she aged up normally, she'd actually be, like, really, really fucking tall.
I know.
She'd be a very tall Ukrainian lady.
And I love it. Oh goodness, but yeah, and then but yeah, for the lust and the sins, he's had sex with Pride. For one of them, he doesn't do it because he's not their type for reasons. Wrath just hates his guts that much; he just never would. And also, Lust kind of equally hates Wrath to a certain degree. So
really,
yeah, well, because Wrath is so. Like, I don't know how to explain it without being spoiled.
Oh, no, I caught it. Okay, I know what you mean. No, that makes sense.
Oh, someone asked, Hythe asked what Siren's hair color was before she became 13.
Okay, so, I originally had her with brown hair, and I changed that. It's the same reason why I changed Tybalt to technically being blonde. There's a reason for why his glamour has brown hair, and it's not really a spoiler. But, I originally thought, for biological reasons that I can't say, she would have dark hair, like a certain other character.
Winks.
But after thinking about it...
Winks in spoiler.
Yeah, winks in spoiler. I decided to give her, like strawberry blonde auburn hair, but, like, really light auburn. So it's not technically brown. It is more on the strawberry blonde side for hers. And so that's what her hair color would have and was naturally until everything happened. And the funny thing with hers was I made it because I wanted her mom to be really, really, really pretty. Because the thing with Siren is that she is, and that's the thing with all of the time age, because it's a joke in itself, but like,
Snickers.
You know, time is never kind to beauty. And so I was like, wouldn't it be funny if all of them were always beautiful? So like, that's why like when Dimitri, he's really cute, but when he ages up, he's like really handsome. He gets really, and that's the joke where like I have this other character that I can't say, but he's gay. I can't say anything more than that. But like he sees it for the first time, and he kind of goes to like his partner, and he's like, I am extremely uncomfortable right now. And his partner's like, I know, and it
yeah,
gets
trust me, I saw it the first time, and it was weird.
And it makes me feel very weird because I watched this kid grow up, and then suddenly he's hot, and it's just not okay. It's just not okay. Because with Gabe doing it like he does, it just kind of drastically happens.
It's even worse because he's dating my godson. That's just even weirder.
Yeah, it's just.
Oh, crackman.
Oh, crackman. Is Greed's story going to get a trigger warning? I mean, I don't think so.
No, I mean,
like, okay,
if
like
his needs a trigger warning, I think all the sins need a trigger warning.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like,
I mean, yeah, most of them die pretty, like, not kindly.
I don't. Okay, here's the thing. I don't like doing trigger warnings in stories because I feel like it spoils it. But there is one thing I will say is later on in Lorelai's story, there is a thing that happens, and I can totally understand that. And I might have to put a trigger warning on that. I really don't want to because I'm not going to write it. Like, I'm not comfortable. You know what happens. Right. It's very obvious what happens.
Yes.
But, yeah, and hers, again, it's not to be mean. Hers has a really important meaning to why it happens. Because I got in an argument about somebody with that.
Ooh.
And I was, because they were like, oh, so you support this thing? I'm like, no, I don't. In fact, I'm very much against it, which is why I put it in my story.
Point, it's in the story in a negative context.
Exactly. It's not, and I will say this, both parties involved were not happy, so it wasn't a, like, one person wasn't okay, they both were not happy. That's all I can say about that.
The bad guy was the person not involved.
Yeah, the bad guy was there, but that's for other reasons. But yeah, I don't think yours, like, has a trigger warning at all, besides, like, violence.
Yep. Pretty much. Unless like, there's an emotional trigger warning, I guess. I don't know.
Ha! Ha! I saw the pun there.
Oh, goodness.
No,
the bad person. Don't worry. There's poetic justice. It's okay.
There is great poetic justice, and Lorelai does get a happy ending. It's just she's got to go through a lot of shit to get it.
It's okay.
I know. Do any of y'all have a character that the fact they are a villain is a spoiler? Yeah.
Yes, I do, and it hurts me so much because I want to include her in the other villains, but I can't because she's a spoiler. Which is funny. Okay, I will say this: they are a Looniverse villain.
I know who it is. Yeah, I know he told me about this person.
You can find this funny. I was there's a song where there's like these people on YouTube who made a mashup of like a bunch of Disney villain songs all together in a cappella form. And when I listen to it, I can put almost all of them to a Looniverse villain. And there's one in there for her, and it sucks that I can't actually like mention it publicly because then I have to spoil that. Okay,
you're gonna have to tell me who it is because I know who the character you're talking about. I've seen what they look.
But no, it's funny because it's them, and then they have someone else who'd be singing like in praise. It's just funny to me. But yeah, I'll tell you about it later. Well, I'm still typing out this thing. I'm very slow when I'm talking. No, it's fine.
It's okay. I'm also working on this painting. I might have to put you on speaker. I hope I can do that because I'm already at like 67% on my phone.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
I'm being really bad because I don't have like my light box again. Everything I own is in storage, so I'm sitting here like I have to draw like very carefully because it's on watercolor paper. And before anybody asks, no, I'm not recording it. Sadly, I wish I was, but my camera batteries are in storage, so I can't record it. All right, let's see. What were the questions? Do any of you have a character that accidentally becomes the bad guy? Yes.
Let me think.
But not like the main bad guy, if that makes sense.
I want to say I do, but I can't think of specifically who. But I feel like I have one.
Oh, I know of one.
Which one?
Ignore the cute side character that has a reference sheet.
That's exactly what you told me. Correct. Yes. Oh, that's right.
You haven't posted that character up anywhere.
Right.
I don't want to say who it is.
Right.
But that's who I can think of.
It's her. Yes, because she thinks she's doing a good. That's literally just 7 Sins and a Baby. She thinks she's doing a good thing, but she's not. Yeah. But she thinks she is, and by all accounts, if the story was told from a different perspective, she would be. But she's not.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, if the plots were switched, she would technically be a hero. Cough.
Is the backstories of 7 Sins and a Baby collectively just the gift from Community where everything is on fire and the dude is just in shock with his pizza?
I feel like that is such an accurate answer.
That sounds about right. At least with some of them. Oh, goodness. What is the worst character / story you've ever made?
I've never made, or
you've ever made?
Magpie.
I don't know. Do you mean like worst as in like it's a bad story or like a bad or like as in they're terrible
this is true.
person?
This is true.
That's what I don't understand.
goddamn, all these characters with these stupid side ponytails. I have one, but still, it's annoying.
Like a bad story.
Probably.
Probably.
Then, okay, not mad.
Probably either one of my two old. Either my old version of, now it's called the Heavens Proxies, but when I used to call it like War of the Sky. Whoa.
Whoa! Whoa!
So epic!
I mean, hell, Mark sounds edgy as shit, but like,
yours at least has some dramatic thing. Mine just sounds like a cringy 12-year-old made it because a cringy 12-year-old did.
Did do it. That's why I tell
now
people
it's called the Heavens Proxies, and now it's getting world development. Now it's becoming cool. And my brother gave me like a fantastic idea for like a creature to be in that world, and I love it so much.
That's why I tell people, I'm like, see, mine is a dramedy, and it's always been a dramedy, never anything else. While Ticks and Turns is... It's got some deep stuff in it, but it's a lot more light compared to Mark. Cough. Oh, Lord, give me strength. I hope I did this character justice. Okay, let me see. You mentioned that Sloth is underage. Is he the baby in Seven Sins of the Baby?
He's not the baby.
Do y'all have any villains that get redeemed? Yes. I love it. So far in March, no.
I have villains that get redeemed all the time.
Technically, Ringmaster and Fear. They would count.
I would count them, yes.
They would count. And a lot of people might be like, wait, Ringmaster's done some pretty bad stuff.
Yeah.
Like, he had a reason. He had a very good reason to. But he did some pretty bad stuff.
Yep. I love Ringmaster.
I love my chaotic son. Like, people ask, like, oh, so is he chaotic good? I'm like, no, he's chaotic.
He's just chaos.
He is.
And a little bit more chaos.
That's all he do.
I love him.
I love my water boy. Come on, paint wells. Let's do this thing. So I have to get all the light colors done first. Because this character has so many light colors on dark colors. Oh, I made a mistake wanting to paint this. But it's going to look really cute. I had my electronic eraser. By the way, I am not looking at the chat right now, so...
Yeah, I'm not either. If the main cast of Looniverse went to Hogwarts, what house would each of them be in? I don't know.
Zodiac doesn't know anything.
I don't know anything. All I know is that one of my characters' backstories is shockingly close to Voldemort's.
Like, to a T. Like,
and it's great, and I love it so much.
I was like, you really know nothing from Harry Potter,
I hate it, but I love it so much.
It's beautiful. Okay, I need the blue.
Perfect. Now that I'm finally done sketching this thing, I can actually paint it! Woo!
Yay! Okay, you have dark eyes, so that's fine. I'll just make them black. Okay. Let's go back to Tubes of You! You guys should make a Zodi-Sona tag thing or something. I actually plan on actually making a reference for my Zodiac.
I want to actually make like something for that. I also want to kind of redesign mine a little bit.
Mine too.
Fancy.
Because mine was on.
I want to make me look fancier. And I also kind of want to because
you gotta be a lord.
Yeah, and also because it is a Sona, so I feel like, you know what, I want to actually give myself like a different hairstyle and shit because it doesn't have to be me. So like, you know. We'll make myself look cooler.
I mean, that's why I'm like trying to rebrand myself with Cleo as my mascot. Yeah. She's not a Sona, but I'm trying to have her be like
doing
a mascot.
All that stuff is making me want to have a Sona, but I don't know fucking who would my Sona be. Like,
you mean a mascot?
Or a mascot, yeah, that's what I mean.
Because that was something that my friends told me, was they were saying, like, it's better to have a mascot that has literally nothing to do with anything So that way when the story... Because they brought up a good point. They're like, what if when the story's done, people either hate that character for the things they do or love that character? Now it's attached to that. And it's not going to be good for, like, branding.
Yeah.
And I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I feel like... I mean, luckily I've gotten, when it comes to fan art, it seems like the only character I get drawn a lot would be Infinity. So, I mean... But I don't think she gets associated with me enough to be considered a mascot. Especially because I don't draw her enough to be a mascot. So, I mean, part of me wants to have a mascot, but I don't know what that'd be, especially because I have such a bad tendency of giving every character that comes into my hands a story. So, like...
Me!
Just, like, literally now, because I've been going through, like, working on all those adoptables I have piled in on Toy House. And I've come up with so much shit for them now. And I have, like I have those fucking con artist robots. And I love them.
I really like that, by the way.
I love them, and I want to do something with them now. And I'm like, shit, this is what happens. Especially just because I love Rosalind, and I just love Rosalind. I can't fuck me.
No, I know you're legal now, but no.
Thank you.
That was a delayed response. Okay, my joke went over your head. That's fine.
No, I know. I don't even know. I was also reading. Someone said, "Which sin is the furry?" Well, of the current sins, none of them are furries. I have Zavist. He's the furry.
I mean, technically, would Envy count? But not really.
She'd be a furry, but not by choice.
I'm a forced furry. An
forced furry. Well, Zavist is in the background, like, just embrace it.
Just let it happen.
It's fine. I love Zavist. I want to draw him again at some point.
Oh, that is way too bright. That's not the color I need. I probably need the cream. I'm so sad because my little color swatch book is also in storage, so I'm like eyeballing a lot of my paint wells. And I'm like, no, that is like goddamn fluorescent orange, which I mean is good. I don't need that color. I need a creamy one. There we go. That's the color I need. Okay, your other ear's covered.
Oh dear, we have another Crackland question.
Okay, what's the question?
Okay, so in Crackland, which ship is the weirdest that wouldn't normally work and would sink upon the first iceberg, just like the Titanic? I guess they're asking what would be the worst combination we could possibly make with our characters. That would not work out.
Sebastian. But I mean, technically they're canon. They're canon in Crackland.
Coughs.
Don't make it good. Don't make it good.
Yeah. Oh my fucking god.
What?
Oh god, hang on, I gotta send this to you.
Oh no, I'm so scared. What does that mean?
How am I gonna send this to you? I'm typing a thing out. Shit. Someone in my old server, they just sent a picture of Lust with the uwu face.
With the bright eyes?
It's just the circle eyes.
Oh god, that sounds terrifying!
Go look, it's in art in my old server, if you can.
In your old server?
Yeah,
okay,
just
hold on.
real quick.
I haven't left yet, let's see. In art?
I'm pretty sure Crackland ships can survive no matter what because Crackland. I mean...
Ah! I hate it! It's really cute, but I fucking hate it! Oh! I don't like that! I don't like anything about that! I don't like anything about that! No!
Oh, goodness.
No, I don't like that. That can go die.
Oh, wait.
It's really good fan art, but it scares me.
Hang on, the person corrected themselves and they said, no, what couple would not work normally, but works anyway because it's Crackland, but outside of Crackland it would sink upon first impact? Well, all of them, because none of these characters would meet. Yes.
Siren and Kai, Tybalt and Charity, because technically when they mate, he's a kid.
Yep. All of them would sink if it wasn't Crackland.
Yeah. Oh, and I just...
Especially because if it wasn't Crackland, they wouldn't meet in the first place.
They'd never meet.
Yeah.
Plus, I especially say Siren and Kai, because It's only because your world makes things nicer that Siren doesn't look, scarred up.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say that he'd still probably like her, even if she was, but he wouldn't. He'd especially not go after it because then she really would always look like a 12-year-old because she'd never age herself up.
Yeah, because she's in pain when she does it. So when she's an adult, not so much. Like in your world, it's a little different. That's why she likes hanging out there.
Yeah.
And now she's a human. So
now she's a human, and she's. I still love the fact that they get another child because we made another joke.
We can't make jokes. We should have known better.
She made the joke where it's like. I love that. It was out of the blue too, where she's just like, "Let's have another kid," and it's like, "What?" It's like, I mean, if you want to, I guess. Like, and she's like, "Well, everyone else is." It's like, "Do you actually want more kids, Siren?" And she's like, "Being human has given me a sense of normality I didn't think I could have."
She ain't wrong.
I know.
That's why she said it.
She's a good. I love Siren.
I love her because she's just that very serious character. So. She's also Tybalt's blunt in the stupid way. She's blunt in the blunt way.
I know, I love it.
Because there are many times where she just kind of says it like it is, and it's like, ew, why? And it's like, well, that's what I was doing. It's like, but you didn't have to tell me. It's like, but you asked. I mean, yeah, but normal people don't. That's not how this works. Well, then why would you ask it? She's like one of those people. She's a very literal person. Oh, my baby. Let's see. Is Siren the kind of... Wait.
I think you're thinking we're saying Siren.
Oh, no. Her name is Siren because, she, it's... I can't, even say it the proper way, but it's a Ukrainian name. It's why, a certain character's name is, even though it's spelled Karen, it said Kareen. Because of where she's from, but I can't say, who that character is.
Cough. Coughs and spoiler.
Right. Coughs and spoiler. A little off topic, but do you like American Horror Story? I was very, 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 very disappointed in fucking Hotel.
Ooh.
To the point, a Hotel and Election Year, I think what last season was, to the point where I shit you not, I literally forgot last season happened. I was like, yeah, I loved Roanoke. And then my friend was like, no, Roanoke was 2 seasons ago. And I was like, no, it was last season. And they're like, no, that was the Trump one. And I'm like, oh, God. I literally forgot an entire season. And I hated it because I'm sitting... And it's not even because of the politics thing. I'm like, they're like, this time we're not having anything supernatural happen. It's all going to be the real-life demons we deal with. And I'm just sitting here like, but that's not why I watch this show. I watch this show for the paranormal shit. It's why I've always watched this show. For paranormal shit. If I want to see about Trump being a Nazi, I'll turn on the news. Sorry, I just kind of did that association thing. No, it's fine. I'm not, angry at you for asking. I'm waiting on the reviews for the season to come out before.
No, they were talking in relation to Siren and Siren.
Oh, yeah, again, no, it's no big deal. It's cool. You good, boo? Okay, let's see. How do you, in your eyes, successfully... How do you do a successful redemption arc? You actually have to make a character face their demons. And then have a realistic reaction to their demons. I think that's a big issue, is a lot of people try doing redemption arcs, but they want to, there's no nice way to say it. They want to, kid it down.
Yeah.
Instead of having, how the character would actually act, they kind of make, an alternate version of their character that's stronger when there was no reason for them to be stronger. You don't see their growth, and then they're just like, look, they're stronger now. And I'm like, okay, but how? You literally talked about how 2 seconds ago they were terrified, and now they're acting like the baddest bitch in town. I mean, do you agree, or...
I mean, yeah, sorry, I'm typing this, too, so I'm slightly distracted.
Oh, no, it's fine. Oh, God. You're laughing.
You guys like mac and cheese?
I fucking love mac and cheese.
Yes, I eat mac and cheese a lot more than I probably should.
Like, I bought myself mac and cheeses for lunch, and I'm probably gonna eat one for dinner. Because I do not want burritos again. Okay, I think everything else is brown. Now I just have to eyeball these browns and get the right one. Oh, shit. Looks like a purpley one. I think it's the purpley one. Oh, that's a good one. I think I found it. Oh, I found it on the first try. Yes, Mother Mary. Sorry. Without your color swatching when painting, guys, it can be a bitch. Because a lot of colors look like a certain color, and then you swatch it, and it's like, oh no, that's not a brown, that's a purple, or vice versa. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Fucking.
That was a long typing. Okay, let's see.
It's. I hope it makes sense. It'd probably be easier if I said it, but I don't want to say it on camera.
Yeah, no, I gotcha.
It's literally the end of the story, so like. What universe did the weirdest scenes occur in? It's most likely Crackland.
I mean, that's kind of how I assumed it was going to end.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, just from what you told me, like,
oh, yeah.
outcome I could see happening.
Well, it's also sad because I know that she's going to be like, just I already know from right now that she's like the fan favorite.
Yeah.
So, and it's also everything leading up to that too. Like when the other person mentioned in that paragraph dies, that's for like a totally different reason. And it's also in favor of saving the universe. So it's like, but yeah, and it's good times where everyone cries.
I mean, again, that's why like I have a certain character that passes away in my story. And a lot of people
yeah, just one.
One more done in mind, but I'm not going to say who. They die for good reasons. They don't just die to be sad. But there's one death that happens semi-early on. It'll happen in, like, the second book. Wait. Yeah, it would happen. That's the climax of the second one. But it also, like, the actions of... That's one good thing I can say that a lot of authors fail in, I think, is a lot of the time when someone writes a series, when you're writing a series, your book needs to still be a standalone book. Mm-hmm. You don't want it to be... Because there are so many stories I've read where, like, the middle book is pointless. Because they're like, nothing happens, they're just leading up to the third book. Mm-hmm. And that's not what you need. You still need a beginning, a middle, and an end. Which is why, in the second book, I can say this. In Marked, the points of view are from Tetsu and one other character that I haven't named yet. Well, I've named, but I'm not saying who it is. Then in the second book, it's from Lorelei's, Tetsu's, and Tybalt's. But mostly Tybalt and Tetsu. Lorelei sort of starts it and has important arcs throughout, but she isn't on the same grounding as Tetsu and Tybalt are. And then in the third one, it's definitely Tybalt and Tetsu, but I can't decide on the third one because again, things happen.
Screams.
And I have to decide on which one's a good one. I'm thinking it'll probably be like, that would be like Alador's turn. Does that go through his thing too?
Shakes.
Because the problem with mine is that mine's a multi... I don't want to compare it to this, but I can't think of anything else. It's like Game of Thrones, where a lot of stuff is happening at the same time in different chunks of the world, because they are all over the world.
Yeah. And
so because of that, all of them do end up coinciding with each other in the end, which is why it's important. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Zodiac, which story of yours would be the best to RP with in context? One that doesn't have many stories and it's developing. I'm asking for reasons. Cough, cough.
Well, a lot of the ones I'm coming up with going through these fucking add-ons.
I was gonna say, Ari Dops seem to be like your RP fodder right
Just
now.
right now, like, and I haven't even gone through all of them, and like, because I'm making tiny bios for all of them at least, so it's like there's something there. Like, currently, just out of those ones, I have my con artist robots, whom I love. I have these two little shits named Angie and Devin, and their aunt Salem, who have a little bit of they have a starting story to go off of.
Okay, on that real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt, but one thing. I am so excited for demon worshipping Sabrina that's coming out. I am like so ready. I'm sorry, I don't know if you know anything about Sabrina and the Teenage Witch, but like they released the teaser trailer, because the whole thing with Sabrina and the Teenage Witch, the whole thing was she was a half witch where her mom was the witch and her dad was human.
Screams.
I might have it mixed up. But now they're doing the dark version, so her dad is literally fucking Satan. And like the teaser has like everybody singing happy birthday to her. And you just see like this demonic presence behind her with her aunts, and I'm like, I am so ready for evil Sabrina. Netflix, do not let me down. Dark Riverdale was weird, but Dark Sabrina I can get behind. Sorry for my random fangirling tangent.
Yeah, so I have that. I have a lot of them have like basis of like where they could go. Like I have I still need to name her, my unnamed angel lawyer lady.
Oh, her! I still say you should go with like Celestine or whatever I wrote down.
Did you put something down?
I did. I thought I did.
No, I think you made a suggestion for. I thought you made a suggestion for my alien girl.
No, it was definitely the lawyer lady.
Oh, I guess I didn't see it. But no, I have her. I have my adorable alien child who that would be a fun world developing kind of story, because like I could because she's an alien, so fucking hands in the air, who knows. I have this character I got named Uriel, which I thought was interesting because the 3 pieces of art with him, one is a furry, one is more humanoid, and then one is a cat, or like a feral cat version of him. And I thought I had this like really interesting idea of like, what if for some reason he's like an imaginary friend who's had different kids he's been friends with, and they'll see him differently depending on what they want to see him as. Anything from like an actual cat to like a normal human guy. And then in between. But then like he doesn't really know what he is, and he doesn't know why only some kids can see them, and then why sometimes they just stop seeing him. So I had him, so he has just an interesting concept that could be expanded on. And then I have fucking Candy. My monster woman villain lady.
Yeah.
That'd make a fun like group roleplay probably, because you could have a lot of characters in that.
Yeah.
Ebzy. I have Ebzia. And then I have... Who else? Oh yeah, I have Natasha, whom... She has a concept, not a story. So, yeah. There we go.
And like... Oh, I just realized something. Oh! It's gonna be hell.
What?
No, I just realized that, with everything that happens in the second book, I'm gonna have to write Ringmaster's story alongside it. And I'm gonna have to... I know, because I told you, his story ends up lining up to the events that happen in the second book.
Oh no.
And so, you know, I can say this, it's kind of how they discover his name. And I realized that, I was like, I just realized that when you were talking, I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to write that one alongside the second book and have them come out like semi-close to each other, because they are really important. Because I don't want to like take a break for just Ringmaster's story, because his would be a standalone. His would be just his thing.
I know.
His is really fun though, because it's
Ringmaster.
I'm really excited for his though, because the narrator for his, I guess this is a kind of spoiler, but I'm not going to say who. So each one of the marked stories is narrated by a separate person. Like each book is narrated by somebody else, except for Tetsu's arc. That's done by her. I'm fine saying that. But Ringmaster's arc is actually narrated by Fear. It's not nearby though. And so yeah, you can see why that's going to be a lot of fun. But if I realize if I don't get those done like right close to each other, it's going to be really confusing, and then people are going to be pissed if they have to wait a year for me to do Ringmasters. So then another year I would get the third book out. Oh, that's hell. So this is the stuff you got to think about when you're writing.
Oh boy.
Sorry. Okay. Do you guys have any advice for how to create an actual story? Because I've created characters in alternate dimensions, but I have no idea what. I always had characters first, but the stories kind of came with it.
That's me. I'm a big character writer, which is weird because I'm also a big world builder, but I'm a big character writer.
Well, I think that's the big thing. A lot of people are like, oh, well, my character's not like this, and and my world's like really blah, blah, blah. It's not that unique. Here's the thing. Your world doesn't have to be unique. Because technically, no story is unique anymore. Everything's been done.
Yep.
And don't try to argue me on this. Literally every story has been done. It's the characters that make the story. And that's what you should be focusing on, is having good characters and then a story around it. That's why I said, like, with mine, the big thing is that it's not that they live in this magical world, it's that this is their life in this world. You know, it's not,
I
it's not
was
Harry.
just...
Yeah?
I don't know why I thought of this, but I thought of something I was doing yesterday. If anyone wants to know how the story development process goes, or was I doing it yesterday, or was it doing it this morning? One of the two. Because I'm working on one of my older stories, and that's like, I feel like everyone at this point, if they write a lot of stories, everyone has that one, like, Lord of the Rings big fantasy world story. Like, you have marked, this one's not mine. And I was developing it, and I had this whole idea for this character, where I had this concept where it's like, okay, I'm going to have, like, this thing where there's, like, an oracle, and they're, like, a spirit who, they're a spirit who gets reborn as any mortal creature as soon as they die, but they don't have the memories, but they're always like, you know, reincarnation. You and I have done it enough. No, we know what we're talking about. We know what we mean. But I had this idea of like introducing her as an actual character at some point, but I had the idea of her being kind of like really excited that the main characters like are talking to her and there. And then for some reason, because this is what happens when I, like, come up with certain characters and certain scenes in my head, I was just fucking walking around my media room. I don't even know what I was doing or, like, what I was actually trying to accomplish while I was doing this. And I was just talking as this character bouncing around everywhere. Like,
I do that all the time.
I had to just stop. Like, what am I doing right now? This is how you do character development.
I do that all the time. Like, I look like a crazy person, but especially with like Alador, Adrian, and Tybalt, I will like take on their personalities and talk through a conversation like they would.
That's me all the time.
you sound and you look crazy. There's no way around it. But doing it that way is so much easier than writing out dialogue for them. And because like I can write down scenarios and scenes and actions, but the dialogue, I have to speak it out. So, because with me, my biggest, one of my like top 10 pet peeves for writing is when someone, unless it's done intentionally, they write dialogue for a character that no human would say.
Yes.
And it's always bugged me because if you say it out loud, no one would say that. A good example is, even though I like the prequels since the whole sand thing, because I was watching the Mr. Plinkett reviews, the whole like, you know, I hate sand. It's coarse and it gets there. It's like I know like you heard the guy say it. You didn't think to have him like just ad lib those lines because no one would say that to be romantic.
Yeah. See, and I think at least from what I've heard, I think I can say this is that from what people have told me, I'm really good at writing dialogue, and that's mostly because I don't have any idea where I want the dialogue to go.
Yeah,
or I might. I don't know how I'm gonna get there. Like 90% of my book that I still need to go back and edit, all that dialogue was literally just me like bullshitting. Like, I wonder what kind of conversation these two would have together.
It wasn't that bad because I did read it. It wasn't that bad. The only thing was like you repeated a lot of words a lot.
Yes,
which I mean is fine because you wrote it on a fucking phone in the course of them. But I've read a lot worse that I've actually paid for, so it wasn't that bad. It wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, I need to go, and I need to fix the ending of that because I know it's rushed because I was trying to get it done. So
yeah,
but yeah, so it's like I will tell you guys this: the key to dialogue is like before you even write anything down, just have a conversation with yourself and see how it would work out.
Have any tips for writing dystopians? You have to I know this is for Zodiac, but I don't have a dystopian story, but I've read a lot. The big problem with a lot of dystopians is that they try to make a utopia out of a really shitty world, and you can't do that, even with the situation. The only time I think it was a good example was in The Giver, where they were in a utopia, but the utopia was like so perfect that they literally killed people who were wrong. Mm-hmm. So, it's like, you're like, we're already in this good place, we just gotta fix a couple of things. But if you're like in a post-apocalyptic zombie wasteland, you're not gonna fix the world in your generation. It's gonna take like many generations to fix stuff. So
it's like, yeah, and I have a lot of like dystopian stories because I like that kind of thing.
Wait, really?
I kind of, yeah.
I actually, yeah,
because
the Luniverse has a lot within itself.
Well, yeah, like Luniverse is its own monster. Luniverse is every genre of story. Thank you, except for erotica, maybe. But
I like that you had to go with the maybe. Like, I'm not sure.
I don't know, but yeah, I have Colorful's dystopian. Firebird is dystopian. It's kind of an older one. I think I have one more. If I think really hard.
By the way, this is really random, but Holly, if you are in the chat, I fucking love this watercolor paper. Can you please message me in our group chat what it is? Holly gave me like watercolor paper as a gift, and like it is beautiful. I love this paper.
No, but yeah, I've had dystopian stories, and from what I've found, a lot of the time, I'm trying to think how to order myself right now, but. To be honest, like, here's another thing. It's really easy with dystopian stories to fall into, like, what everyone else does with the dystopian story. Mm-hmm. Which is usually what the death sentence is, and that's how you really get, like, kind of cliche, like, there's nothing interesting here kind of stories. So, yeah. So my suggestion would just be to have a little bit more fun with it and have the idea that, like, big problems don't get solved in, like, 2 minutes. Like... So, yeah.
I mean, okay, I guess technically, if you say it like that, technically Ticks and Turns is a dystopian.
Yeah.
Technically. It's a very, very technically. But in Ticks and Turns, which is my my steampunk vampire one I've been working on this year, the reason I say that is because in the Victorian age, vampires kind of took over the world, and people were treated like pets. So, it's a good world if you're a vampire.
Yep.
But even that being said, like, their story isn't fixing the world, it's them being inside of it. Because even they know, they're like, this has been a thing since before we were even born. There's no way we're gonna fix this overnight. We can try!
Yeah, well, you can't, it's almost like you can't always just kill someone and then suddenly everything becomes happy, whatever.
Yeah.
Usually. I mean, I think the only one that could be like that and that made it work would be, like, Mad Max. But even then, that was an open-ended ending. So
yeah, and the world wasn't fixed. That little section...
It was that place.
Was better.
So, yeah.
That place got better. But the world is still a pretty shitty place. Any more questions?
How do I write a character with angst that's weight is akin to an African elephant without it coming off as super edge?
You mean like making a super edgy character?
I have no idea.
All I can think of is
I'm very
like...
confused by that sentence, and I don't know why.
I have an idea, but I don't think it's an answer they're gonna like. And my answer is...
How do I write a character with angst that's weight is akin to an African elephant without it coming off?
They're
It's a metaphor.
Like super,
okay.
Yeah, they're saying like super angsty.
There was a lack of commas in there that confused me.
The only way I can see that working is if you like make the character self-aware they're being edgy, which I know sounds really dumb, but I feel like if you want a character that edgy, they gotta be aware they're edgy. Kind of like Wrath. Like, at least Wrath knows he's extra. He won't admit it.
All I could think of was Avaris.
No, yeah, Avaris is better. I just didn't know if I could talk about Avaris.
No, it's fine. Well, I know it's so confusing, because I know at one point, I don't mind saying who he is. I'm just not going to go into detail about who he's supposed to be, but it's also confusing because I have now posted a picture of female Avaris. Wink, wink. So
Wink, wonk.
There's technically 2 Avarises, but that's besides the point.
Well, one Avaris you can post up because they never see that other
because
side.
in a sketch dump I have female Avaris.
Yeah, I know you have female Avaris
Yeah.
with Zavist.
Yes, because it was great. Because I love that picture and I love Zavist. He's a beautifully terrible man.
He's just gross.
I know. He's a
But he's
fucking furry.
He's the good kind of gross.
Yes.
He's an actual sin that is evil. Because, like, I love it that yours even compared to, like, we're not really evil. We're just assholes.
We
Like, there's
just
a big
literally
difference
have
here.
we have no point to be good. There is none. and then of course, Ira's just filled with the burning hatred of 1,000 suns and spite. So
Again,
for other reasons.
She got a good reason.
Yep. What are your thoughts on out of place names in a fantasy setting? Like, you
I
mean
think
like really modern names that shouldn't be there? Because I know that feeling.
I thought they meant, like, the kind where, like, oh, I don't want to fuck this up. Where, like, some character names are so... Because this is a thing I don't like either. Is when some people try to, like, be so original with their character names, you literally can't pronounce it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think because
Like,
they said out of place, so I think it's more like something
Like
that
a
feels like
Frank?
it shouldn't be there. So it's not
You
even
mean like
that
a-
it's like too... You can't say it. It's like, it just should not be there.
Yeah, it's like a Jerry or something.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? That's how I kind of feel when I watch, or when I watched the Seven Deadly Sins anime. Because,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
the main characters in that anime are like Meliodas and Bond, but then you have Diane and Elizabeth. Then you have King, who's just, that's his name, that's just King. And then...
Well, no, I mean, remember, technically, I didn't like that twist. I
anyway.
didn't like that.
I-
Because I'm like, okay, so you're Oberon. Like, like,
He is.
like, the fuck, dude, really?
But then you have
the
like...
only reason I didn't like it, I'm like, Oberon's not lazy.
But then you have Merlin. Which it's so hard for me to associate it to a woman, and I get why, and I think it's hilarious, but it's so hard for me to associate it to a woman.
Oh, it's okay. I love Gother, and everybody hates
I love Gother, and I love Merlin as a thing together. Like, just them interacting, I find fun.
Yeah.
Like, well, it's
Well,
like the fact in season 2, like in the opening sequence, they like show a thing of like her washing his hair, and I'm like, why is this not a thing that's come up yet? Why is this just a thing that we're supposed to assume is happening?
Well, I think it's a thing because I think they said that Merlin him because he's a doll.
I guess I don't know because I don't remember because I don't even remember anything about that story at that plot anymore because I stopped watching season 2 because I couldn't deal with the fact that Diane's character literally went out the fucking window. Like,
That was Cody's same thing because he loved Diane. He was so
really,
pissed.
yeah. See, because I couldn't stand that all she got degraded to was fan service when she still had like so much more character that could have been expanded upon. But no,
Yeah.
she's just there to be the ditzy bimbo. That's all she is now. Like,
And I feel bad, but I didn't like that they made her like human sized. I'm like, her whole thing is that she's a giant.
yeah. It's just,
I mean, I get why, but I still didn't like it, and it's not from a thing. It's like from a storytelling aspect, that seems like a cop out
yeah.
to me. Because like,
Especially because it's like they made her small and it seemed like all problems got solved.
exactly.
And it's like that's not how that works.
I felt like if I had it, I could have fixed things. What I would have done is I would have been like, okay, if you become small, that's it. Like you can't go back to being a giant.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like, oh no, it's the potion she can keep taking, and I'm like, see, I don't like that because I feel like that's a cop out. That's just
Yeah.
a like to me, and it sounds really bad, but I feel like they did it just so that she could bang, and I didn't like that.
Or just like so that she could be small and they didn't have to keep writing her being giant. Strugs.
But she's a giant. Like that was her thing.
I know. And then like I'm not gonna lie. I understand why we should focus on the fact that Bond has a dramatic backstory and a lot of leftover anger that's not been solved. But I don't like that that's all it seems his character's been focused on now.
Yeah,
and it's like, we get it. His girlfriend died. Thank you. Like,
we get it. He's got issues. He can't die. We get it.
But why is that his only driving force in existence?
Yeah.
It is just, it makes me a little bit mad that so many of those characters, and why did it feel like the most interesting characters got no screen time?
Me.
Like fucking, like, Grother and, like, Merlin in the background with seemingly
that's what
very
I was mad about.
mysterious and very interesting characters, and they just never existed. Like,
yeah, it's like,
they just were barely there. It's like, oh, we're just here to be here, you know.
Oh, okay. I got a perfect analogy for this.
Ooh.
So someone asked early on if I had read any bad, like, porn books, anything recently. This wasn't recently, but there was one series I was reading that, like, actually started to get a plot, and I was pretty surprised. And I was like, wow, this is going somewhere. And then throughout all the books, there was actually foreshadowing for this big event. And I was like, huh, that's not bad. You know, again, for like $2, I'm sitting here. And then I was actually surprised because they actually killed off one of the really big love interests. Like full on dies.
Oh.
And like he dies suddenly, and like it affects the plot in the story. And I was like, whoa, this is good. Wow. I'm surprised. Keep in mind, though, it happens like the 6th book in, so I don't recommend this series to anybody. And then they're leading to this big thing they've been foreshadowing throughout all the books, and they needed, I think they needed like 7 guardians or something like that. 7 or 8, you know? And they were all set for it. They were ready to like do this big epic battle. You wanna know what happens?
What happens?
The main bad guy, throughout the whole thing, just gets nerfed by a fucking phoenix.
Oh,
and I shit you not. Like, he gets nerfed, he's dead, and I'm sitting here like, wait, hold on. The fuck?
Someone points out that we went from discussing stories to OCs, or stories for OCs and talking about characters from series or whatever.
I know.
Guys, it's because no one's asked us a question, so we don't know what else
It's
to talk about.
true. It's true. That's what you were saying. But I shit you not. That happens, and then I'm like, so are they gonna go back to normal now? Because the figuratively end of the world that you've been leading up to all these books just ends abruptly, and that's literally what happens. They're like, oh yeah, the Phoenix and his girlfriend are now in the other world that everyone wants to get to. There are so many character plot holes that like they brought up that were not resolved at all, and this whole war thing they were leading up to doesn't happen. And I'm sitting here like, I didn't even feel satisfied the main guy died. I'm like, no, this world is still shitty. There's all this stuff going on. There's all these internal arcs going on. Half the bitches are pregnant. and the author said, they're like, yeah, this is the last book. And I'm like, what? That's terrible. That's terrible writing. Sorry. Okay, Zodiac, what's a good way to describe a character with split personalities? You read a book on this recently, so why don't you take it away?
Wait, did I? Oh, wait.
On split personalities, yeah. I can say
hang on, I gotta pronounce the name right because I keep wanting to say Zimmerman, but it's not Zimmerman. It's like Zimmerman, I believe. Doesn't have split personality disorder.
I know, but I consider it that as a gist.
Okay,
I know it's not that.
Well, there's a good book where it's okay because I don't want to like associate because they're very different. Because this is more a case of 2 people with their own independent minds, personalities, and thoughts, as opposed to one person with split personality disorder.
Okay, you're right. I'll say that. But they share a body.
This is true. But I guess by this person's wording, I'm assuming if if you mean like not split personality disorder, but just like a character with like very drastic split personalities, a really good book to read that I just read that does this very well. Again, they're not split personalities. They are 2 different people who share a body, essentially. They're, in a sense, they're like Siamese twins, but not Siamese twins. But
they're Siamese twins that share a body.
Yeah, well, it's like there's a different term for it. And it's explained differently. They're more like mosaic twins in a sense, but they both ended up being conscious as opposed to one absorbing the other. But anyway, it explained it in the book pretty well. But it's really good because the main character of the book is this twin brother and sister who share an androgynous body. Who then have to live in the world. And what's even better is that one is 100% a right brain and one is 100% a left brain. And
they never deviate.
Yeah, which is really good because in the book it stays consistent with that. Because as much as I wanted Adrian to feel sympathy by the end of it, he didn't. And as much as it hurts my soul, that's good. Like,
it makes sense.
My soul wants him to, but it's good that it didn't happen. There was a really fucking cute thing with the kid and the fucking whatever. This isn't really a spoiler, but it's just really cute. Where it's like the kid that they've been helping wants to give Zoe like a hug and a kiss, but like Zoe makes the joke of like, I would hug you right now if Adrian wasn't holding me back with all the willpower he has. And so then at one point, like, she makes a joke, like, look over there! And then, like, Zoe looks because Zoe's, like, ADHD. And she looks, and so she takes the opportunity to, like, hug and, like, give him a kiss on the cheek all cute. And then she just backs up, like, sorry, Adrian. And it's so cute. I love it. But, yeah, so that's a really good one because it's just, this psychological term for multiple personalities is actually... but isn't there a difference between, like, split personality disorder and dissociative identity disorder?
Oh, yeah, that's a huge...
Yeah, I thought there was a difference with that.
Yeah, no, DID is more, to summarize it, that's more on the, like, sociopathic version of it, while split personalities is kind of like Split, like the Shyamalan movie, if you know what I'm saying.
No, hang on, no, wait. No. Dissociative identity disorder used to be called multiple personality... Or, actually, no. No, they're right. Yeah, okay. Because I did research about this. Dissociative identity disorder used to be called split personality disorder, but it got renamed when psychologists realized that it's not so much a split of personalities as it's a disassociation of personalities.
Yeah, that's right. Okay,
yes.
My bad.
But I believe what I'm referring to is... Yeah, you know what I mean, though. But, like... So... Yeah. What's this book's name? It's a very good book that came out this year. It's called This Body Isn't Big Enough for Both of Us. And I recommend everyone read it yet. If you like dark humor... What?
I said I haven't read it yet, but I want to.
Yes, it's a very good book, and it's hilarious, and it's really dark at some points, but it's just really funny and just really good, and the main characters the main characters are very amusing, and I need to draw fan art still. I actually found... Ironically, I found artwork of Kimran from the original author because he's a cartoonist. And I'm like, yes, I have a reference.
That's great. So that makes it so much better.
I know. It's so great. I love it so much.
Oh, the painting's almost done.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. It's pretty small, so that's why. It's not like I'm doing a complicated... But now I have to wait for it to dry so I can put the washi tape down for other parts. Oh, sorry, let me see.
Do you think it's okay to write characters with mental illnesses only to affect the plot progression instead of character development?
Hey, what's up? Okay, is everything okay? Can I have a smudge? What do you think? Thank you. Don't work yourself too hard. I love you. Here's what we're back in our car. Sorry. You were saying?
No, yeah. Also, I do want to say, because I totally forgot about this, because everyone needs to hear this joke. There's a line, just to tell you, like, how... would meta be the term, I guess, this author is? There's a legitimate joke in that book that's, that I was just mentioning, where it's like, I know you've heard this, like, 3 times now, but it's where it's the part where Zoe, like, spins around and she's just like 2 guys sit in the back of a whatever shop, 5 feet apart because they're not gay.
Yeah, it's meta. Well, it's meta. It's meta, and it's
There's so many pop culture jokes. It's great.
Pop culture. That's it too. Yeah.
And it's just yeah. So yeah, there was someone who asked, do you think it's okay to write characters with mental illnesses only to affect the plot progression instead of character development?
If there's a reason for it, and it's not... I have my own term for this, because I see it a lot with this specific illness, and it's not to joke of it, but I see a lot of stories do what I call convenient PTSD, where they do, like, the basic bare bones. It's like, perfect example is, it's like when, I say Tybalt has ADHD, because he does, because I have ADHD. It doesn't... He can focus when it's things that he cares about, but when it's stuff that doesn't interest him, other things will go off and he'll be distracted, you know? But that doesn't mean he's, like, talking to someone and they're like, ooh, a squirrel, like you see a lot in the media. I say convenient PTSD because you see that a lot with, like, more modern stories now, where they try to give, like, this character PTSD, but it only ever comes up conveniently instead of naturally like it would in a person, because it's not... The same thing goes with the overuse of triggers, which is something that, like, does bother me a lot. Is because a lot of people are like, oh my god, I'm so triggered by this. I'm like, no, because if you actually were triggered by this, you wouldn't be talking right now. You'd be reliving what happened to you, because it happened in a snap, like a trigger. That's what it means. You know? Because there are stuff out there that make people uncomfortable that is not the same as a trigger.
Yep.
And so,
someone actually said, like, for example, creepypastas will sometimes only make a character insane so they can reach the end goal of being a killer instead of focusing on that person's development. And I totally agree with that, because I've, in recent times, watched a lot of little documentaries about, like, serial killers and just murderers in general and shit. Like, there was a really good one, or a really fascinating one, about, because you can, like... Normally, when you have a murderer, there is something wrong with them mentally. That's just a fact. That's not me being derogative. That's just a fact.
Yeah, usually a lot of...
But
very few people are actually evil in this world. Usually there's something wrong.
And there was, like, a little thing where it was about, like, female killers, and it was talking about one that was a bit more historic, so it was before a time when... It's a time when people with mental disorders were, like, lunatics, considerably. Yeah. So there was, a documentary, and it's about this woman who had dealt with, like, very serious mental problems all her life, and people, like, the people around her would, like, just kind of bully her over it, insult her, mock her, like, drive her over the edge. So, like, she got so... Basically... Because, and plus with her mental disorders, she got so pushed over the edge by her family that she ends up, like, slowly killing them off one by one. Because it's a combination of her mental disorder and everything that built up combined with that, leading to that solution of her just of losing it. Yeah. And that's just kind of the reality of things. I really don't like it whenever people just say, like, oh, you see, they are crazy. Automatically, that means they are going to kill people. Usually not. Usually, if you know someone has a mental disorder and you treat it, it'll be fine, and they won't go murdering people. Yeah.
Another good example is, like, how, a lot of people hate this too, but it's like when I tell people that, like, we have sociopaths who are CEOs. They're like, no, they're not. I'm like, not all sociopaths kill people. A sociopath just means that you have no empathy. And so, you know the rules apply, but they don't apply to you. That doesn't always mean... You know, it could just mean that you...
And most sociopaths are smart. I watched a documentary about that where people will say, like, even people who, like, go over criminal sociopaths, they've even, like, because they've been researching ways of trying to find out, like, what causes sociopathy. And there's, like, it's really fascinating because it's, like, it's just talking about, like, you can sit down and you will actually genuinely start to like them because they'll be such a charming and interesting person. But then, it's like, then you sit back and you're like, oh shit, this person's killed a person before. And this person genuinely doesn't care about me, you know? Yeah. And that's what's scary.
Yeah. Which I think is interesting, especially when... So that's why I always tell people, I'm like, just do your research. Like it's not going to be, it's kind of like the whole, like, how do you do this? Practice. No, really. No. Practice. There's no easy way to writing. There's no easy way to art. There's no easy way to life.
That's unfortunate because everyone always wants to look for that one answer that'll make them better, but there's none.
Yeah. Or they'll like, well, this worked for so-and-so. I'm like, okay, did it work for you? No. Well, then maybe that's not the way for you.
That's another thing I wish, like, I wish would get talked about more is that there are, like, a million ways to do anything artistic.
What do you mean?
Oh, like, well, because, like...
You cut off from it.
Oh,
That's why I was confused.
One thing that I wish people would talk about more is the fact that when it comes to anything like writing, art, and all that shit, there's a million ways to do it right.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's just about finding the way to... The easy way is hard work, exactly. So it's like, it's just, you gotta... Just because, like, and I hate it whenever there's people, like, especially when people do, like, art tutorials and shit, and they act like, this is the way to do it. And it's like,
there's no other way. Yeah, exactly.
No. Especially because it'll be something like, I know, and I'm like, funny, because I've never heard of this technique before. But you do you, boo. Like,
one thing I think is funny is, like, oh my god, Michelle, why do you ink with black? You're not supposed to. And I'm like, because I like how it looks.
Yeah, you can ink with black. Just, sometimes with some people it looks better than with others.
Exactly. It all depends on the coloring that you choose and how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It's why it's just, but in the same note, it's like, I do not like it when people shade with black, unless you're doing a black service.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me.
That's
Doesn't mean
not to make it work.
Exactly.
Yep.
Sorry,
I feel like
I'm
creepypastas have events that build up to the point where they snap, but it's too unrealistic. I can agree with that, yes. Although I will say, a lot of them start from a standpoint that is realistic and is a reason why things could happen, but unfortunately people give really bad advice too. Because, like, there's so many story reviewers who will just say, oh, someone wouldn't go on a murder spree because they were bullied. And it's like, yeah, they could. It wasn't written correctly in this story, but they could. That happens.
Cough. It's kind of how we got those school shootings recently. Yeah. I'm just saying. It's not right.
Or then they'll read about, like, people writing bullying, and people will write, like, sometimes people will write bullying that sounds very, like, over the top.
Very cartoony.
Yeah, very cartoony. And people will be like, oh, well, see, nobody ever says that. No one says this shit. And it's like, yeah, you don't. People do, just not in this way that the person's writing it. But this happens. You're not giving good writing advice if you say no one does it. Like,
especially, like, that's something that I hate about period pieces. Especially period pieces. A lot of people don't realize the past is pretty fucked up. Because, like, I'll tell people that, like, with, example, you know, a lot of the classic Disney movies did a lot of stuff that would not fly nowadays. At all. But that was classics back then. It doesn't make it right, but back then that was the norm.
And I also,
you know,
God, okay, this is just a random pet peeve, but, like, I hate it so much when people give writing advice and their first comment is, nobody acts like this.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that so much, too.
There are people who act like a lot of things.
There are people who eat other people.
Yeah.
Does that mean you want to go eat people?
It's like, yeah, maybe something sounds a bit cartoony or unbelievable to you and your experience. But, like, I've legitimately seen people who will say, no one in real life acts like this in a character review. And I'm like, I've met people who act exactly like this.
Same.
And it's so, it drives me insane because don't judge it off of your own experience. Judge it off, like, could you believe this being a thing that happens in the context of the story?
Yeah. And it's like, okay, same thing too, this stuff, but we'll use the Holocaust. If the Holocaust never happened and someone wrote it, someone would be like, that can't be possible. But we all know, in this world, it did. Doesn't make it right, but it is something that happened. Yeah. You know? It's like,
it's my biggest pet peeve when I hear reviews.
Another good example is like, it's like the moms who we're getting really graphic here, but it's just like how, back in the 50s, no one would ever look towards a mom or a dad for killing their kid. Ever. That wasn't a possibility. And now that's the first person to look at because some people just aren't right in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Song of the South, Sable. It's Song of the South.
Someone asked, do you have a creepypasta character? Not a favorite character. I have a favorite story, which is one that's told... It's really good if you hear someone read it and they read it right, because it's like basically the diary of a guy talking about something, and at first it sounds really normal, and then you slowly realize, oh my god, this guy is insane, this guy is terrifying. And you're basically reading the diary of a murderer who's about to terribly cause a terrible fate for this one woman.
Oh, I know the story. That one.
Yeah, I love that story, but it scares the shit out of me. It's so creepy.
That's the point.
I know. I love it. But yeah, so I have and I also like a basic bitch Russian sleep experiment. That's a good one.
That one's really, really out there, but it's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, my rat's nest of a hair is so messy because Cody's neither of our cars have air conditioning right now. So even with my hair tied back, it's just blowing in the wind because we have to have it out there. Why do so many people romanticize toxic, unhealthy relationships? I have a reason for this, and it's because half of the people who do this stuff, they literally believe they can save them.
Mm-hmm.
They believe, and this sounds very egotistical, but they believe I'm the one that can save them. I'm the one
saying, that can... romanticize, as in fictional.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Why? I'm saying it's because a big reason why it's like that is because they think they're the special one who the psychopath won't kill, won't use, and then they never are.
Mm-hmm.
That's, Oh, Zodiac, you know what the name of the creepypasta was? I don't remember what it was
I don't remember what it was. That's unfortunate because I've wanted to hear it again, but I don't remember what it is.
Ooh, that peel porn. Good shit. Oh no, I got a little bit of leakage. Oh well, I only have washi tape. I only have washi tape, so I'm not too surprised.
Oh, finally a question about her story, so we can get back to something. I don't know.
Sorry. Okay,
someone asked, how old was Les when he died? 21.
Oh yeah, he was 21.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so proud of how this thing's coming out. I'm really proud.
Be proud.
Okay, now is the part where... I just gotta wait for it to finish drying fully, and then I can ink it. I know no one asked this, but I think a good question too is it's also okay to change your story. There's a lot of people I know who aren't my shit is nothing like how it started out.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you think of something that's way better or fixes a plot point or a plot hole, then just go with it. You don't have to.
Please do.
You don't have to make something work.
Yeah, I think the only exception to that I have is Luniverse, and the only reason is because my whole point of me doing Luniverse is I've been trying to stay as close to how it originally was as I can.
Yeah,
because that's kind of the joke I started with. But
that's also but you're also dealing with multiverse theory.
Yes,
so it's okay.
But it's in 7 Cents and a Baby, there are things that have changed from what I first made them, planned them to be.
I mean, now you have an ending, so.
Yeah, fucking Angel was supposed to be just a normal fucking kid, but no. Then she had to go make a point, anyway.
But, make a point! I just realized something! And you're the one who put the foreshadowing in the artwork without you even realize.
Shush. I'm blaming everything on you.
Oh, okay, fine. Fuck you too. I'm sorry you're not gonna get your weed gluttony, okay?
But yes. So, What was I saying? Oh, right. Yeah. And then, like, again, like, a good example is I'm redoing my first original story I ever had, and it's becoming totally different than how it used to be, and it's actually having interesting ideas, like the one I got from my brother that I am shamelessly stealing, but I'm giving him full credit for because it was brilliant.
I mean, hell, technically Ticks and Turns is originally based off of a role play between me and my friends from high school. So, like, in my thing, I credit that and I explain everything. I had to change a lot of things because it didn't make sense, but, like, yeah, most of it was made with the help of a friend.
Just never be afraid. Honestly, if you ever have to tell yourself, like, oh, but I'm worried that if I change my character, people won't recognize them, don't worry about it. Like, don't.
I wouldn't say that. Here's the thing. Because there are some people out there, because this has happened. It hasn't happened to me, but it's happened to a lot.
If you've already started your story, don't do that.
Well, no. What I'm saying, I've had this happen to a lot of friends of mine. Be careful, because this can happen to not famous people either. I don't consider myself famous. I don't consider a lot of my friends famous. They're more popular than me, this is true. But I don't consider you guys like the Jacksepticeye of the arcade.
No, yeah, I don't either.
And so, something you do have to be careful for is there sometimes might be people, because I had this happen to a friend of mine, where they will be pissed if you change things about a character, but if it makes you feel better and it makes more sense to you, you gotta let it roll off you.
Yes.
Because that happened to a friend of mine.
This is true.
I won't say who, because I don't want the person who was an asshole to get attacked or anything. But I had this friend who had a lot of, like how I have mages, but with something else. And they decided to make one of their characters that wasn't that important. They weren't even a main character into a human, and a lot of people lost their shit, and a lot of people were pissed.
Yeah,
and they were like, they're not even a main character. Literally nothing else changes about their character, their arcs, everything. There's no reason why they couldn't be human.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some people out there who are fucking nuts, who are like, oh. Now, if it was something very drastic, like if I decided to make Tetsu not a mage anymore, I could totally understand that.
Yeah.
But when it's not that important, like, it would be like if you made Angel a brunette instead of a blonde. Does it really matter?
Yeah, exactly.
In that context?
I mean, technically, like, if we're going off real-world genetics, I mean, do those exist in Seven Sins and a Baby? Who knows? But, I mean, technically, like, she could... By real-world genetics, when she got older, she could have had brown hair. But that's
I know.
the point.
I know. Was.
But she looks better with her, what do we even call it? What do we call her hair when she got older? It looks like a creamsicle. That's what it looks like.
Her creamsicle hair.
Anyway, but yeah, you shouldn't be afraid to change something about your story if you feel like you should change it.
Also, something I say all the time, but it's so true. Don't focus on making something 100% original. Nothing is 100% original anymore.
It's a death sentence.
You'll never get anything done. Or, this is worse, because I've had this happen to me many times, where, like, I'll go to a movie or I'll read a book and I'm like, fuck, this is exactly like so-and-so that happens in my story.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. Do not change it. You know, heck, Zodiac and I have a lot of shit in common in ours that we didn't even realize. But are we going to change stuff of it? No. Because just because certain backstories are similar, scary so in some cases, doesn't mean that we're going to because what's the point?
The day that we realized that the two characters were basically the AUs of each other while I was in animation, that day is forever burned into my memory. Because we were so, we were screaming.
Oh, it was so bad. I mean, or another thing, too, or how, somehow in Crackland, and we don't even know this is possible, but, Matthias and Angel became, weird parallels to my god.
I know, god. There's so much shit in Crackland that's written itself, and it freaks me out.
Because we're sitting here did you play on that? It's no.
No, I haven't been, playing you this whole time or anything. This is just a thing. And it's just, oh god.
Oh, on one funny note, though, it has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I streamed the picture.
Yay.
The Kai and Morgan one.
Quite.
And so many people were like, I love the brown-haired girl, and I was just laughing.
Oh, I love it. Okay, I laughed really hard. Like, I think, was it this morning or either this morning or last? Yeah, I think it was this morning when you just made the joke that it's in the hair, the power to seduce the twinks.
No, that was you that made the joke.
No,
you
yeah,
said
I said the power to seduce the twinks, and then you added on that, like, it's in the hair.
Yeah.
And then I felt bad because then I was just like, what if that's what Eric wants too, but he just can't grow the hair out, no matter how hard he tries. Like, all I can imagine is, like, something will always happen, like, he'll get gum stuck in his hair or something.
I feel like that, or it would be just, like, one of those people, like, if his hair grows out, it'll, like, grow out instead of grow, like, down. You know, like my brother's hair.
He just wants the long hair like his mother and sister.
I mean, his dad has pretty long hair. Like, for a guy, that's pretty long.
This is true. Don't judge my boy and his cheese hair.
It's fine. I love him and his cheese hair. But, like, okay, again, if we're going off of real-world genetics, Kai would not have the luscious locks he has. He would have, like, very stringy hair.
Yes, I know. But listen.
But I mean, then
my
again,
world
he also
has gradient hair. It's fine.
I know.
It's perfect. Which, honestly, the excuse was the actual reason is because mages became a thing, and that was just a magic thing that, like, when your hair is exposed to, like, the air for that long, it starts to fade, which is why there's always the fade always is at the same point, because then it's like, yeah, but yes, so, but I just want to have my boy have his poofy hair.
I mean, it's okay. It's like why I had to be like, oh, I need more people with short hair. I mean, Tibble cuts his hair, I can say that, but I can never show fan art until that book comes out, so it's gonna be like 1,000 years.
It's okay, the OTP will forever be a secret.
I know.
Just someday you're gonna put that book up and we're just gonna put all the art out there, like, finally!
It's so outdated, but
it's so old! But it finally...
my spine. Let's see, is it bad to give characters discrete names? No, my characters like names all the time. Like, I don't think that's a bad thing.
What do you mean by discreet, though? Like, subtle, or what?
Because, like, some people can have on the nose. I don't think, like, especially if you have a more old-timey story, people were mean.
Yep.
Like, a good example is in Game of Thrones, like, every bastard, their last name was where they were from. That's why Jon Snow is Jon Snow. It's not because his last name is Snow. It's because, like, you're a bastard, so every other bastard in Winterfell has the last name Snow. Just like how the people in the Sand are like, I'm so-and-so Sand, because it's showing you're a bastard. Oh, nicknames. Yeah, I don't see that.
No, that wasn't the person correcting. That was a different person.
Oh, sorry.
You gotta look at the usernames, man.
I am inking!
I know!
Okay? Fight me. Zodiac, if sins were animals, what animal would each of them be?
I feel like I've thought about this before, but I can't always remember.
Oh, okay. Okay, here's what I mean. Change their names. Is it bad to give characters discrete names, change their names? Like, hide their true name? Because, yeah,
I do that.
That's what you mean.
Literally all of my sins. Like...
Yeah.
Or no, unusual... No! Wait, hang on. They said unusual names. I have a few characters that were raised in the UK and have weird names. I mean, no, there's nothing really wrong with that.
Again, if it makes sense for where they're from.
Yeah.
Like, technically, I have a lot of weird characters. Technically, Ringmaster's real name, I almost slipped up and said it, is, like, it's a real name, but it's said very weird. So, like... It makes sense, but it still doesn't sound right.
I love my train noises.
I wish my world had trains. But yes. There's just random birds and other things that happen, or someone just miraculously gets hurt. Like he said, he's like, you know how hard it is? You know how hard it is to curse your own name? Pretty goddamn hard. I worked very hard on that curse. And what happens? This little kid just gotta come along and just break it. He brings back
this little shit. Like,
this little shit brings back the dead. He brought, I mean, okay. I got a kid out of it. But, it doesn't mean I'm happy. What do you mean? You love Gabe? Oh no, I love the kid, but he won't let me train him. Which is not okay.
But his parents won't let me teach him how to do magic. Like,
you know, it's just, and I know I have this feeling that my next life is gonna be all passive and cute because all water mages start out. But no, I can't keep this. I can't.
No, I can't. I can't have this one thing. Like, I can't have it.
Oh, I love him. I love him so much. Just give him a British accent. It's perfect.
I know. I love it. I forgot to, oh my god. I forgot to tell you this. When I was
sorry.
When I was in London, the first day, we went to this one palace or tower or whatever. I forget what it is. It's famous.
Up this place.
Yeah, this famous tower, whatever. And they have these people who live in the castle, and they like they'll take you on tours and they'll talk about stuff. And this one guy, he was sarcastic. He wore like black and red because that's what their uniforms was.
You saw real life Ringmaster.
If Ringmaster was like an older, like middle-aged man, like there he was, and was actually being somewhat civil and wasn't a chaotic magic guy. There he was.
There he do.
There he is. It was great. And then and even better, in their uniforms they wear top hats.
Fuck.
So yes, it was great.
Did any of the sins die? I mean, I guess technically one did if you think about it.
Wait, where?
Did any of the sins die via gang war crossfire? And I'm like, technically. I mean, if you want to put it that way.
Wait, like their actual death?
Yeah.
Whoops.
I can't say who, but I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Coughs.
Do you guys have advice for writing big families or single parent families? I have a lot of those. I think Morgan does too.
Cough. That's literally Kai's family.
I know. The big thing here, and this sounds weird, is with especially big families, you gotta differentiate who's the main characters and who are side characters. Because even if they're family and they're important, they're not main characters.
Yeah.
Like, I'll use Harry Potter as an example. I know you don't know Harry Potter, so this will fly over your head. But the Weasleys have a very, very, very big family. But the main characters of Harry Potter are Ron, Harry, and Hermione. There are a lot of secondary characters that are very memorable, but they are not the main characters.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, even though he has a very big family, a lot of his brothers usually aren't all around at one time. They usually get a couple in a moment. Ringmaster is such a chaotic name, honestly. Like, doesn't matter what story your character named Ringmaster, expect nothing chaos from him. Okay, so the funny thing about that, real quick, when I made Ringmaster, I literally didn't have a name. I didn't. And then I literally fell asleep one night, and I had this dream of him introducing himself to, like, me. It sounds really meta. But, like, if I wasn't me, I was someone else.
You know what's worse? That feels like a total Ringmaster thing to do, to just go to your dreams and introduce himself.
It does. And, like, but I wasn't me. I was probably another character. Like, I'll probably have this happen to Tybalt or something.
Right.
Where he, like, but it was like, he was looking directly at me. And, okay, this sounds weird. He was, like, still a cartoon. He wasn't, like, a person.
I love it.
Because it's really hard for me to put, like, human faces on my characters.
Right.
So whenever I usually dream about them, they're like, I dream about them in cartoons. So
right.
He like did this like very like elegant, very weird, like he crossed his legs bow. Where like he like ended up like putting his like leg on his bowing his hat. And he's like, hi, and then he flicked his hat, I still remember, and he like rolled it around his arm and said, I'm Ringmaster Masters. Nice to meet you. And I was like,
I love it.
and like I just remember being like, okay, so I have a last name now, because that was definitely something he would do. So I had a last name, and then I had the locket, this is always very important. He has the special like pocket watch, like finger quote pocket watch, and so he keeps with him that has the initial RM on it, and I always had that, and I was like, it's just for Ringmaster, because he always wanted to be a Ringmaster. But then I'm like, no, I'm gonna make, since the whole Ringmaster Masters thing, I'm gonna make his actual first name start with an R. And so that's why it all ended up working out. But that literally, that realization happened after me having him as a character for a year. Like,
I love
I
it.
had Ringmaster set, I had his whole backstory set with Blair, but I didn't have a fucking name for this guy.
I love it. Where are my fucking dreams about my own characters? I feel cheated.
I feel cheated.
All I have
Weird.
dreams about are camels that beat the shit out of me.
It's really weird. Like, I actually don't suggest it. When I have dreams about my characters, it's I don't know how to describe it, but like, I'm watching a cartoon that I'm not a part of, but I'm in there. It's like a really weird disassociation thing. And I've had a lot of those. I haven't in a long time, but I had a bunch with Ringmaster. And the funny thing is, they're usually always like weird scenes that'll have nothing to do. Like, I had the one of Naya and Adelric that I told you about. I had that one of the ghost in the castle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I had that one. I had When Tetsu Meets Ten. I had this really cute scene. Well, cute. This cute scene of when Tetsu's a little kid right after she gets marked, and there's this scene, and I saw it in sepia. So like when I do eventually make it a comic, like all the flashbacks are going to be in sepia. But it was really cute. Like I saw it in sepia, which is why I said it's like this weird surreal thing. But her eyes were purple because her eyes are always purple. So there's this character that comes in that's this like nice little old lady who's talking to Tetsu and ends up giving her this book because Tetsu had these like bandages on her face. It's like literally right after it happened.
Right.
And you know, she's really happy that like this nice lady wasn't scared of her. And it literally panned over to Nyos. People don't know who Nyos is. That's Tetsu's dad. I have a really outdated reference to the guy on my DM, so I'm okay name dropping him. And he shows the camera angle of him like putting his hand on her shoulder, and she turns around and she's got bright white eyes. And for reasons, I mean, obviously it's Siren. I'm fine saying that in the flashback, but and you know why he doesn't like her. I'm not going to say why, but
Winks.
you need to leave. And you need to take that with you. And Tetsu was really sad that this nice lady, who she didn't know was Siren, has to take this book back. And then Siren's not happy about it. But, like, that was one I had. Another weird one I had was, I did have a crackling. That was really unsettling. I really didn't like it. And I don't know if I can talk about it. Besides that, it had to do after Siren died. with how a certain character looked, and I was really comfortable. I mean, I know that's the point, but like seeing it, because like without saying who it is, and I didn't want to ever bring it up because I didn't know how. It was actually weird. Was the character like? So there was the scene where the character falls off the balcony, which I had a really weird deja vu moment.
Oh my god!
That's what happened in my thing. But like, he ended up like twitching, like he was made of glass, and I really didn't like. It was really creepy, and I was like, "Oh, I don't like this." And then you brought up all that stuff that happened. I'm like,
Whoops.
"Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this at all."
Whoopsies.
Sometimes when I dream in animation of my characters and other people's characters, and it makes me very unsettled. It's I never usually feel like, yeah, I'm always kind of like weirdly grossed out. I don't know why. I think it's the fact that like I'm dreaming in cartoon.
Yeah.
Oh, what would happen if the Sins met their parents from their past lives? That's a really cool question, actually. I like that one.
Wait.
Okay, so what would happen if Lust met Lazuria's parents?
I mean, I don't even know any of the past Sins like parents.
No, I mean, I'm pretty sure you don't, but I think that would be a cool concept.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. I have no answers for that question.
What's Michi talking about? I have weird dreams. That's the summary of it. I have weird dreams, okay? And you can't blame magic. This is before I did witchcraft and shit, so. Because I had someone say that once, one of my personal friends was like, you know, maybe you shouldn't mess with that magic stuff. I'm like, I'm not summoning Satan. Like, Jesus Christ. Let me enjoy
Okay,
my
this
God.
is funny, but I can't say why this is funny to me. Just, hey mom, I died. Now I'm a sin that's driven to do the sexy lust. Which is ironic, because he would never in a million years say that. Like...
Oh. My boy!
He died. I can't even say why, because it's a spoiler.
Hard-hitting spoilers. There's little things that I can spoil that I don't care about. Like, I know some people might care, but they're really not important. But there's some very big stuff that I can't.
That's the same with me. Well, sometimes I just say spoilers when I'm not sure if I want to say something or not. I mean, I guess with Lust, I could just say the fact that, like, when he became a sin, it was like, I'm dead. Like, that's just it. Like...
Well, I mean, okay, let's be real. He also kind of, without saying how he dies, he dies. Like, you know, a couple of other people, it was accidents. He actually dies, like, in a pretty fucked up way.
Well, no, Greed does too. Actually, Greed's probably the most fucked up one.
I know. Okay, but I don't like thinking about it.
Lust was an accident, just not his accident.
He still traumatized somebody.
Yeah.
By a lot.
Kind of made a certain someone go a little crazy, like.
I mean,
just out of spite, like.
I mean, just a bit.
Just a little. Just because he's a little mad for no reason.
Lust dies overdosing on Viagra.
Oh my God.
Oh fuck.
Oh, he doesn't need it.
I was gonna say, like, he a hoe. He did that shit. You know what's funny?
What?
It's kind of gross, but also like people have asked. Some people are like, "Hey, how big are some of your characters?" I'm like, "How big?" And then I realized what they meant, and I was like, "Fuck, I don't know." Like, I never
think
really
about
thought
that.
about it. I don't really think about it.
I leave that to the weirdos in the future who are gonna make porn eventually. Like,
right?
Just I don't know, and I don't care.
I mean. Okay, I know
for some of them, because it's just generally something that would just be realistic.
Exactly, that's like me. Like, someone was like, I'm like, 10, he's a big guy, so just because he's very fucking tall, it's proportionate to his body. That's just a thing. You know, but then, like, I don't know, I have characters that, like, I think it's funny. Like, Fear has a giant one because he's really fucking short as a joke. Because he's short. Because my friend once said, so he's short and stacked, and I couldn't think of it any other way. And I fucking screamed. What are thoughts on love triangles and stories? Also, what are your thoughts on poly relationships like Felicity, Sphinx, and Xavier's relationship? Sorry for asking a lot of hope on that. I mean, you're not asking at all. Like, that's why we're just randomly booping stuff, because no one's asking questions. I
mean, I like just romance and stories in general when it's done correctly. That's just all I can say. That's just my baseline.
Yeah. Which is why when Tetsu and Ten's romance story comes out, I am gonna laugh because it's. I mean, you know what it is, but like a lot of people don't know what it's like, and I'm just waiting. I'm waiting because it's in her character, and it makes sense.
It's good.
I just think it's funny because I like tricking people. Size isn't proportional. I know a dude who's fucking huge, like 6 foot, and so small. Fuck. Well, okay. Well, sorry for your friend. But I mean, like, Ringmaster's normal sized, like average, because like he doesn't really care about that stuff. He really doesn't. And then like I don't like thinking about Tybalt, Elidor, and Adrian because like most of their story, they're kids. And then like I know Elidor has a girlfriend, so I know he begs, but I never like
never thought about it. Like
I don't really, because again they're like kids. I think that's kind of it's like, you know, to me it'd be like, I feel so gross even saying it. It's like, so how deep is Angel's vagina? It's like, what the fuck? I never wanted to have to think about this. Like, why? Right?
Someone did actually ask, is Lust big? And I find this amusing because no, he's not. I could never...
Yeah,
because
that
realistically, the reason why he's so effeminate, my reasoning behind it, would equate to the fact that he doesn't. But that's kind of the joke. He's like...
Yeah, like, from what I got, like... He's a trap, that's the joke. So I feel like he doesn't make a lot of testosterone, if at all.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, that's
Again,
the whole thing.
He
There's
can
a reason...
get it up!
Yeah. But, like, well, I mean, it's kind of funny because, like... Because lust isn't really the top most of the time, like, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I always picture. Like, I kind of picture, like, even with girls, they would still be the top. He's just kind of there for the ride. I mean, he's not, like, rude. I'm sure he's great at his job.
It's like we've said it before. There's, like, a difference between top and dominant.
Exactly.
Like, so, yeah. People ask the most important of character development questions.
Mm-hmm. Stories of OCs to OCs and stories to how big is it? I've had people ask this honest question, and then I'm like, and then I feel bad because I'm like, now I'm thinking about it, and I don't want to be thinking about it. Because, like, I did have an idea to, like, someday do a not safe for work comic as, like, a zine thing, but I'm sitting here like, the only ones I could do would be Tetsu and Ten, which would be really, really hard with their size differences, because she's normal, like, just normal height-wise, and he's very big, so I don't really know how that's gonna work. And then I've got, I thought of, like, a crack one of Lorelai and Lily that I could do, because I think that'd be cute.
Grim.
And then I had a really, like, stupid idea, but again, it would be a crack one, where, like, it would be, like, Tybalt's first time, when he's legal, I have to say this, and when he gets over some issues, because that's, like, the last thing on his mind for a while.
My boy.
I was like, but then I just, especially with him, I'm like, I will admit, I have done a couple of not safe for work commissions of him, because, like, I had a friend ask for it, but he was aged up.
Right.
But I still don't like thinking about it. Like, I didn't, like, hate doing it, because at the time I thought it was funny. But now I'm like, oh, my boy. I'm sorry.
Quite. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Someone was asking quick. Going back to Michi's dream. Wait, there's a blah, blah, blah. Okay, there's a couple questions we missed, because I'm looking right now.
Okay.
What's your opinion on the main guy, main girl getting together cliche? Do you not care about it? Do you not like it? Do you enjoy? I think when it's done right, it's okay.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times, it's not done right. Like,
a lot of times, it's like the characters don't have chemistry at all, and they're just kind of like, they're gonna get together because they have to.
Exactly, and like,
it's like, stop.
Exactly, and I'm like, I don't like that at all. It doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Going back to me, okay, I'm wrong. When it's done right, I'm okay with it. Like, a little while ago, I openly said how I don't like the trope of the, like, being with your best friend that you grew up with. Mm-hmm. But now I'm here, like, I love Dimitri and Gabe so fucking much.
I love them too.
I'm like, okay, you guys are the exception, because you also don't make it weird.
Well, here's the thing too. How could Gabe end up with someone he doesn't consider already family?
Exactly.
Literally a plot point of Crackland was him standing on a chair declaring that the whole world was his friend, so a demon couldn't hurt anyone anymore.
I mean, not wrong though.
And because he genuinely believes that.
He does.
And I love it. But yes.
See, hold on. Going back to Michi's dreams, one time I had one where one of my nice characters killed me in a dream, and then when I woke up, I was, like, scared, I guess. I mean, I've never had that. I've had realistic dreams where that's happened to me, but never, like, my cartoony, weird story ones. Gosh, I can't wait till someone asks me this question about my characters on my DeviantArt or something. Well, hey, you can just answer it. That's the thing, too. If you want to, if like, there's any question here that you guys want to answer yourself, go right ahead.
Yeah.
What should I draw? Something fun.
Yes.
Is it confirmed that Eli girl is actually Envy? Eli girl. Oh! The picture that you did a long time ago.
Oh, the lineless one.
Yeah. I was like, Eli girl. I thought of actually Eli. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I know. I was really confused, especially because I called him Elliot. So it was like I didn't call him Eli.
Yeah.
Which for some reason, every time I say it, I know it said Eli, but because it's Elliot, I keep calling him Ellie.
Ah! That makes it even better!
I know. And that's even worse considering the fact that who he's named after, that was her nickname.
I
so,
know.
Like, fucking, his mom would probably totally call him Ellie. So it's like, anyway, and he's already a raging homosexual. But that's besides the point.
I love how like Crackland made everybody gay. I don't even know how that
just keeps making all my characters gay, and it made Dimitri gay too, I guess.
Well, he's leading. He likes very feminine traits.
Yes. There we go.
He's like,
true.
which I feel really funny is it's like I think about a lot of my like girls that I see lean towards more females, and I'm like, yeah, technically you do have to be a bisexual, but I cannot see you with a masculine guy.
Yeah.
Like same with Adrian. I love Caden in our Crackland, but I feel like he's the most masculine guy she could ever be with.
Yeah.
But again, she's not really into that kind of thing. Like, if I had to have an ace character, that would probably be her.
Yeah. It was a combination of circumstances and that Caden's not really half bad a guy, so.
Exactly.
God, I fucking love the joke that we were talking about of, like, where they were gonna, like, do it, and it was, like, there was just a really awkward moment, and then just Adrian's like, I don't feel like this much, so can you just please get over here? Like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Can we just, like please?
It's because he's such a. Because when Tim will point that out, he's like, "Well, you guys have been together for like years. You never did anything." And I feel like Caden would be like, "Well, I mean, I wanted to," and then she would be like, "Why didn't you just say something?"
Because I didn't want to make you feel awkward.
I mean, I guess like, that's kind of her character. She doesn't really care about that stuff.
I know.
But
it's ironic because like father, like son. That's like basically Kyan's here. I scream.
Oh, I love them so much.
I know.
I feel like if homosexuality could have a visual intensity, it would look like a fire or like a Super Saiyan. Oh my god. In the world of Crackland, they put the chemicals in the water, turning the freaking frogs gay.
Turning all the men gay. Oh, goodness.
I mean, there was a Crackland thing that happened where, because of Gabe, something happened where Tybalt thought he was married to Greed, and Greed was very uncomfortable with that. And then, I don't know why, because, like, I know funny moment, but the reaction made me, like, scream, because I'm like, that's pretty horrifying. With the whole, like, when it got Siren finally, and there was the blue glow, and it was like, oh, I know what's happening.
Yeah, I know, it's like a lighthearted horror movie.
Right? It really... Think about Crackland in, like, a serious sense.
I mean, on it, like, again, like, if Gabe wasn't, like, the most purest being in the world, he'd be terrifying.
Exactly.
Like, because, legitimately, when he does shit, no one can really stop him. They just have to wait for it to run its course.
Exactly.
Crackland is gayland.
Like, I'm so excited, because we're about to have Dimitri awaken, and that's something I've been waiting for so long. My boy! Also, I do have an idea for what's gonna happen to Tybalt, because of, things that I've got planned. That's like one of the few things I've got planned, because like again I had a realization moment where I was like, oh, and Siren brought it up too. She's like, we still don't know what's gonna happen to you. Yeah. Franny awakens. We have no idea what's gonna happen.
Yep. I can't wait. And I feel so bad because I feel like, because again, she's on a farm around a bunch of animals and her family, because of what she is cursed with terrible luck. So someone's gonna go blind.
Yup. And that's exactly what I have planned.
And probably a few animals.
I'm sure a lot of animals.
Yep.
And they're like, great, now I got a blind fucking chicken and a blind horse.
I know.
It probably would be the horse, because they need the horse. It would probably be like
it'll
the
definitely be the horses, like.
Now I have literally no for the horse. It's like,
and I hate it because we technically like foreshadowed the idea that Tybalt would forget her birthday because he forgot Dimitri's.
Yeah, he forgot Dimitri's.
So it's like shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm so ready. I mean, it's happening. It's gonna happen like the next thing.
Shakes.
Once we're finished with the cute little Daddy thing right now, and then Cassie and Varys are baby shopping.
I know, I love it. Varys just like, what the fuck is this?
I feel like he's like, I literally don't care, but he does. Like, he'll never admit it. But I feel like there's like a part of him that like does want to pick out stuff, but because of his thing, he's like, oh well, I shouldn't get it.
Well, I'm sure also part of him's like, I don't know this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna make terrible decisions.
And it's like, just you pick it. You're better than. Like, no, what do you like? It literally doesn't matter. The kid's not gonna know any different. That's exactly what Cass is gonna say. It's gonna be like, oh, well, it's like, why are we doing this? I'm like, honestly, we're doing it for us. Because why does any parent dress up their kid when they're what? The kid doesn't know what the hell's going on. Okay, parents doing it to be the parent.
I love it. Oh, I'm so excited for Gino.
Me too.
I want him so badly. The little, probably slightly kleptomaniac. Like,
I feel like he would be like, he'd be a klepto, but for like, I don't know how to say, like useful things. Like, if he's at like a candy shop, he'll like take a gumball or something.
Yeah.
You know, like stuff he can use.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that's like he's not a klepto just to take stuff.
No,
like
yeah,
greed.
but that's exactly like how his dad was when he was a kid. Because I just think it would be amusing if Gino was like almost the spitting image of what his dad was like when he was a kid.
That's what I was thinking. So, you know, he's just an elf of Varys. That's exactly it.
I know. So he just like, you know, he just sometimes take things that no one will miss, and hopefully this time he won't take someone from someone he shouldn't, and then get stabbed.
You know what's fun on that note though?
Yes.
I find it funny because this is like a weird irony thing. I don't know if you realize this, but I'm like, oh shit, Eli's kingdom was like the most human kingdom, and now it's become the most magical in the course of like literally one marriage.
I know.
Think about it, because it's like, okay, now we got dragon, and now we have an elf, 2 elf, dragon, human, Asian elves.
Asian elves.
No, didn't I tell you I wanted them to have their dad's eyes?
So I know. Well, no, I just find it funny that like Asians included into that, like his mother wasn't the Asian in the relationship already, like
exactly. Hey, that eye gene is strong.
I know. Oh goodness, and I'm gonna love the fact that Gino's just like might kidnap his technically baby siblings, but not like a few times.
Yeah,
like, but they're mine. I want them.
We have the same mom. No. I feel like that's like one of those like sad but funny scenes where she like tries to explain it. Where she tries to explain it, she's like, yes, they have my blood, but they're not your siblings. It's like, but I'm your blood, and it's like, it's different. They can't have their own kid. You know what's worse that I realized too is when Demetriel comes along, Gino's gonna use it as an excuse. It's like, well, look, those 2 gay guys were able to pop a kid out of nowhere. Why couldn't they? Why did it have to be my sibling?
I know. I hate it, but I love it.
I know, me too.
I just want it to be a running joke when they're all adults that like anytime somebody asks like, okay, guys, seriously, how did you make Demetriel? They just find some way to either like change the subject or they just run. Like,
that's how I see it too. They're just like, we're just not gonna talk.
Doesn't matter what they're doing, they just run. Like, it's just no one can know.
Mm-hmm.
What's even worse is like I'm sure Gabe would have told Dimitri at some point, but I'm sure that would have been off screen. So it's like it's a secret.
Or it's just one of those like you just see the reaction shot. You don't see anything else.
Yeah.
Hold up. Yeah. Gabe finds a way for 2 gay guys to have a kid.
AKA him and Dimitri.
AKA he literally like, and no male preg stuff. Like, literally, he just poops the baby into existence.
Literally, they have a conversation. I think how we said it was going to happen was, like, they have a conversation one night where, like, Gabe asks, Dimitri goes to sleep at least, and in the morning, Gabe's just there with this cute fucking kid, and it's just like, and he's like, I'm really sorry, I got really excited. And it's just like, how? Like, where did this come from?
Oh, Temple would be so excited when he finds out.
Oh, no, like, I know.
I mean, he technically has Bella as his, like, adoptive sibling,
like, his adopted sister, and I love it. I just love
that reaction picture is dude, though. He's like, I have a sister. Ah! I'm fucking screaming.
You're touching me! God, I love the fact that I found in the DPS just that fucking child that made, like, the perfect Bella angry face. Mm-hmm. I wish I could have taken a picture.
Without being weird.
I know.
I've been there. Like, I remember one time, like, Holly was saying how on Twitter once, like, she was at the gym, and she found a real-life Herschel, and that happened to me once at the Stater Brothers, and I was like, I really want to get a picture, but I don't want to be weird, so I didn't get the picture, because I didn't want to be that creep that took a picture anyway.
Right.
You know? Because I saw someone who literally looked like a real-life Alador, like, with his glamour on, and I lost it because the guy had a Russian accent too, and I was like, I need to know your name, but I was like really, really, really nervous, and so I didn't do anything. And then I remember one time I was with Anna, and she saw a real life Belly before her character Belly before he got his character change, what he looks like now, which it looks way better. But I remember she like lost it. She's like, it looks just like him. What the fuck? Let's see. Has everyone ever seen Fern Gully? Oh yeah, I've seen it. Concept: young baby angel calls the sins small child parent names the first time they say daddy. One of the sins chokes.
Well, I'm sorry, this is gonna be disappointing for people, but Angel never actually calls like the sins mom and dad, because when she grows up,
they don't do it.
They don't call each other that. She's never heard that.
Yeah, because it's a lot like, and a real everything example, it's kind of like Cody's parents. Because they didn't know what Cody was gonna call both of them. Because they were like, I'm dad, obviously, because that was his blood dad. And his other dad was like, what's he gonna call me? You know, it was kind of like that joke you had. Yeah. And then when Cody was old enough to talk, Cody literally said Unky once. And they're like, there you go, your uncle. And so Cody even said it himself. He's like, so I knew my uncle wasn't my uncle, but that's all I ever called him. I never called him dad, and I never really.
So I mean, like, because the sins call each other by their names all the fucking time, so that's like, all she's ever heard.
Yeah, swoof,
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 and west,
gwed,
Pwide,
Tweed. I feel like Pride would be like, no, it's Pride. Tweed!
Child.
Pride. Tweed.
There we go. That's
I feel like he would. I feel like that would be
he would.
Of just him just like, he are... And then she would just be like, Tweed, and then
it's like one of those things where it's just like he gets her to spell it, and she says it's like, and what does that spell? Tweed. Yeah, exactly. I feel like the only one that would be hard for her would be like gluttonies. Yeah.
So I don't know what she would call her. Gluttony. Like she's like a button. Tweed, weave. I like that. Whiffany, swoof, woos. No, that was another joke. Okay, so all the kids in Crackland, they're all like growing up now. So the youngest ones are Kaito and the Horseman kid. And Crescent. Keep forgetting about Crescent. Poor fucking Crescent.
Do we have a quirk for her?
I don't. No, I don't think we do.
We need a quirk. I mean,
but
we could cop out and say, or her, him. I don't know. We could just cop out and say it's because no one knows what fucking gender Crescent is.
See, I wanted to be a dick and be like, their quirk is they can change their gender at will. That's kind of what I thought would be funny.
That would be amazing, actually.
As I saw it, I feel like Crescent would be like, because they're very dark skinned. I picture they would be like the shaved head kind of thing. They would just keep their head shaved because the green hair.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not a bad thing. They don't like it on them.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they would be able to, because like she has darker skin, and you know, from what I've seen in a lot of pictures, a lot of black people, they can pull off. A lot of women can pull off being bald and beautiful. Look at Black Panther. And same with men. And so I'm like, I just think that would be funny if that's what the quirk was. And so
I accept this.
And it would also add to Lorelai's anxiety. Because I loved that joke. It's like what Zoella said of the whole you just had to try it. You couldn't just stay gay.
Like, they better be gay, and it's like, guess what? No matter who they date, they can have a kid, and it's just like, fuck. Like, yeah. Somebody kill me. But actually don't, because then they have to take the throne right now. Like,
fuck! I love this. Sorry, someone put in the chat. Angel spelling P-R-I-D. Wrath. What does that spell? Question.
Wrath. Good job.
Yeah. Let's see.
Good work, kid.
God, that's how I'm gonna call the Sins now when Angel calls them. That's great. What I was gonna say was that was a joke too. Like all of the kids, all of the first of the next gen kids,
they all had a curse word.
They all had a curse word. All of them, and they could never say it right.
Mm-hmm. So like Gabe's first word was "fook."
It was "fook," and he kept that. Now that he's an adult, and he's like, someone's like, "Oh fuck, fook."
He just corrects them.
Yeah. Let's see.
I think eyes was cock, wasn't it?
Eyes was cock as a joke, because I think it was something Tybalt said, like because when Adrian was pregnant and everything, I think it was something he said, and then she said that. I remember Ida's was bitch as a joke.
Mm-hmm.
It was bitch.
I think was Dimitri shit or.
I think it was shit.
Yeah.
I think his was shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was shit because I remember. Yeah, it was Tybalt. He got hurt. He was like, "God damn, this piece of shit!" And I remember because Kai was holding him, and he was like, "Shake," like really fucking cute. And Kai was just like, "Ah!" I pictured that meme, that like gasping meme, where it was like, "Ah, ah!" And you hear the kid repeat it, and they're just like stabbing somebody. Ah! That meme.
God, I still remember how we decided that like. Whenever the Chaos Twins show up, like they're literally just that vine. That's just, what do you have there? No!
That is exactly
that's the twins, and then that's Matt. Like
I'm okay. I'm fine saying who their parents are. Yeah. Are you okay with it, or do you?
I'm okay saying who their parents are.
So in the next gen that we're at now, because now we're on fucking Gen 2.
Although I don't know what cuts off Gen 2 and Gen 3 at this point. We're like,
I feel like the Horseman kids cut off Gen 2. I feel like they would be the end of Gen 2, because they can still and kind of do have kids around the same age.
Well, like, hang on. I guess that might have. I mean, thinking about it, that might have been the biggest gap between kids.
Yeah.
Let me look. Hang on. I have most of their ages.
Cause
that was kind of the biggest
cutoff.
Gap.
That was the biggest gap, was them.
Mm-hmm.
Cause Naya's generation made it so the Horsemen came back.
Yeah.
And Naya was still technically a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Gabe just kerfuffled everything.
Yeah, because I think who's the second youngest after them?
After the Horseman kids?
Yeah, I'm thinking. Because like Kai's their age.
Who?
Kai is their age.
Yeah, Kai is their age. And then we have Crescent that came because Kai was already a kid when Crescent.
Yeah. Well, how do you say your name? Because I read it as like Aditi, but I know.
Aditi.
Aditi.
Because it's okay. I can't say it right either because I'm not Indian.
Yeah.
But it's Aditi.
Yeah.
And the closest way I've heard it pronounced. Yes, I think she's the cutoff. Well, I mean, not she's the cutoff.
Well, not the cutoff. She was the first one after them, I believe.
Yeah, she's the start of Gen 3 in my mind.
Probably, yeah.
Because
I'll have to go back and like reassess my family tree.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure she's the start of season. It's her.
Yeah. Well, I didn't put her there, but I'll reorganize it in my free time because I just have too much time on my hands.
Yeah, because she would be on the older side, so like she'd be around Crescent's age for the timeline. Because remember, everything kind of happened at once when that happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I actually have it written down. She's 5, and then Crescent is 4. So
Crescent's how old?
4.
Yeah.
Or like
okay,
4
so
or
we have
5,
that.
Whatever, you
yeah.
know.
And now we have Shadow's kid.
Yeah, we have Raven. We have Raven Quill.
Yeah, we have Raven Quill.
Whom I'm convinced
and then we have
Pride just calls Quinn. Because his name is Raven Quinn. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have that. We got can I say the other kid that Nios and Naya got, or the sibling? Can I say?
Oh, you can say. Yeah, you can say Axis.
We have Axis. He's 4.
Because Axis, I have art of Axis.
He's
in my
I just want to make sure.
No, I know. Yeah, Axis is a part of that. Because again, technically, in Crackland, Nios took Axis's spot.
I know.
Because Naya's age is what Axis and Naya are.
The ultimate middle child.
Yeah. So.
Oh goodness. Yeah. So then I feel like I'm not forgetting anyone. I don't think. How old is I again? I forget.
I is Ida's age.
Right.
Because Ida was young, and it was the whole aging thing. Because
That's right. Because Gabe refused to age himself down the first time until after she was born. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So technically, Ida would be older, but he aged them back. So
yes,
because that's why we also made the joke that Angel's like, "I'll never be 9."
Yeah, I'll never be 9.
Because she just always skipped. Yeah. So
Or no. Yeah. Wait.
No. Yeah. That's how it is, yeah.
She said, "I'll never be like 3 or 4 or something like that."
Oh, it was 4. You're right. It was 4,
she was way younger than that.
5. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, the starts of Crackland, and now she's a teenager and got a friend. So yeah, it would be
now her best friend's having a kid and everything's just
her best friend's having a kid. Her boyfriend's going through some stuff right now. He's doing pretty good, but he's still going through some stuff right now. So let's see, we got that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of the older kids. So the oldest ones would be Adeti, Shadow. I mean, not Shadow, damn it. Raven. Crescent, Raven.
Axis.
And then Axis.
And then,
and then there's a gap, because Cassie's going to be pregnant for a whole year.
Yeah.
Because that's an elf thing. And so then Gino's going to be born.
And then Eric is going to be born at some point.
Yeah, and Eric is going to be born.
Our poor child.
Eric will be born before Gino, because Siren's normal, so she'll have a 9-month pregnancy.
Right. Now we're just talking about like world development.
I know. Unless we want to be mean and make her go into labor early, which is why he gets sick and gets hurt all the time.
Oh.
We don't have to. I'm just saying that can be a thing.
I know. Screams.
Wait, do the Horsemen and the
what?
Someone asked, do the Horsemen and the Sins know each other?
I mean,
I don't know if I can answer that.
Well, like,
I mean, they meet them. Yeah.
Okay. Well, in Crackland, yes, because everyone in Crackland knows.
Well, yeah.
But
bros. So
in canon, 7 Sins and a Baby, yes, they do meet the Horsemen because that's part of the plot, technically.
Yeah, the Horsemen are important.
Yes, specifically Morgan, because I found multiple actual story purposes for him to be in the story, and it makes me cry.
That also have to do with parallels and constances,
and it makes me cry. And it's gonna be cute tears, but it's sad anyway.
I love this.
What?
Seven Sins and a Baby and Luniverse crossover is literally Xavier and Greed trading shit together. Fuck. The shit they stole and Luna coming up with how being like, no, you get the squirt and Greed's just Mr. Bubs. What? Okay, now I'm confused.
Yeah, I
got
where
it.
it was starting,
and
then you lost me.
Oh.
This has been going on for 4 hours, has it?
Oh, Jesus. Well, hey,
I
make that
didn't think it was 4 hours.
That
Oh my god, it has been almost 4 hours. Jesus.
That is a huge-ass moth. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That's a big picture. I want to take a picture of this moth. I hate moths. It's on the outside, so it can't eat me. I don't like moths. I like how they look.
Yeah.
But I hate them.
They're a nice aesthetic,
and if I had my way, we wouldn't have them in this world.
Yeah.
But I know why we have them.
You know what? I totally realized why there was such a big gap between like the Horseman kids and any other kids we had. It's because we did a huge ass time skip.
Yeah, we did.
Nothing happened.
We had to because nothing happened.
Yeah, okay, hang on.
We literally
entertain the stream.
Oh fuck. Okay, hi. Questions, comments, concerns. I meant horse, like Mr. Bubs is a small hissing chihuahua. I still don't know what that is. Sorry. My concern for your sanity. You're welcome. Ugh. Go over there, you stupid ruler. So I don't know. Questions. Does Bruno Mars is gay? Yes. Oh, okay. Thick hiss. I don't know how to thicken it. Lorelai's baby, and I want to protect. She's my baby too. I don't do things to her because I think it's funny. Does Lust is pansexual? I mean, I just don't think he cares. Like, I think he's just like a whore. I can't say it for him, but for Morgan. But yeah, I feel like he just doesn't care because he a hoe. Are we ending the stream? I don't know. It depends on him. I think he might have to soon because I know it's later for him than it is for me. Well, bringing back Zodiac is gay from the first stream. Oh Jesus, that GG relief. I left a couple of hours ago. Is Max still up? I think we are too. Envy and Rasputin just wants to. I have to remember that one. That one's good. That one's good. Hold on. Where is he? Wait. Okay, what's your life-changing question? You get in trouble?
No, I'm back. It's fine. No, my mom just called me, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's cool. Why did you just send me that in the DMs?
No, someone suggested it, and I want you to draw it.
Oh my god.
They were
Christmas
like,
fusion?
Yeah, they were like, Envy and Wrath fusion. They just want to kick everybody. And I thought that was funny.
All these vines are on fire.
Yes.
Oh, that's a big moth.
It's a big moth, right?
It's a big moth.
Like I was really surprised how big that damn moth is.
That's a big moth.
Was it my reply or yours, by the way? I'm just wondering.
I think it was mine.
Okay, it was yours. It was yours.
It was mine.
They're doing the cutesy stuff.
Well, I guess since we're not really talking about anything stream-related, we could end here at about 4 hours.
I mean, it's good for you. It's your stream.
Yeah, we can. I mean, I can still sit and chat. So, but since we're not answering questions and shit, so
that's fine. Answer the question. What question? Oh, do you like waffles? Okay, they're okay.
They're alright. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Someone asked if Lust was pansexual, and I said he's just a whore.
Lust of
Like, he doesn't
sexuality is
care.
basically just yes.
It's just yes.
Yeah, he is one of my characters that I can genuinely say he's just like, yeah, sure, let's go. Like,
Someone's asking, what are all of the Sin's powers?
well, they're on their bio pictures, but like, essentially, Wrath can make explosions with his hands. Fucking Gluttony she turns into whatever she eats. If it's so long as it's not actual food. Greed's really fucking fast. that's
That's
his
it.
power.
That's it.
He's really fucking fast. Which there's a reason why he seems to have the most like unimpressive powers in accordance to everyone else. But
There's a reason.
There's a reason, but I can't explain it. Envy can shapeshift into animals and
Talk to animals.
other species, I should say. And
Okay.
yeah, and talk to animals, and she has plant powers. Also a reason why she has more powers than seemingly everybody else. But again, not important. Anyway, Sloth. His powers are a spoiler.
Can you say his? Yeah, I was gonna say his.
Yeah, but there's something that's gonna get revealed pretty early in accordance to everything else we've said is a spoiler, so it won't be hidden for that long. But yeah, his are technically a spoiler. Pride.
I finished the painting.
Pride can.
Yeah, I'm hungry. Hold on.
Pride. He's got more powers than what he can use. Again, there's a reason, but I can't explain it. But his primary power is that ability to, like, create knives, seemingly, like, there's throwing knives seemingly from out of nowhere. Yeah, and then Lust he's an illusionist, so, yeah.
Yeah. All right, I actually have to go.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go.
I know, because we're gonna be eating dinner. So
Twice.
I know. I'm sorry. But now that I have my new headset, we can chat more. Yeah. I'm not gonna be able to like do. Just so you guys know, for people who do watch my videos, I won't be able to do an update for a while since we're still figuring out what to do. Cody's taking a picture of the goddamn moth. God damn it. But because all my stuff is in storage, so all of my videos that I've made recently are all with backup footage and backup audio I pre-recorded. Because I've had a lot of people be like, oh, you're making videos again, and I'm kind of like, no, they're just stuff I had on the back burner. But I'm doing good, we're okay, things are working out. I'll do an update as soon as I can, officially. And I love you, Morgan. Thank you for having me in your strom.
No problem.
Smidges.
I'll reply eventually.
Yeah, I know. All right, and bye, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, we're gonna. So this seems like a good place on the stream. So bye, guys. Thanks for coming. Smooches.